What is going on, everybody? Every other Wednesday night, so you know what that means. It is time for the Backyard Battlefield. I am down south 77, aka 3-star draw. With me is my brother to the north.
Crusty old crow. How's it going, everybody?
You're a little foggy. You're a little pixelated there.
I'm a little foggy. Oh shit.
Yeah, a little. You look. I mean, it sounds great. Just for some reason, as soon as we went live, it got like. No, I think it's
Hang
connection.
on. It's your. No, I think you got spotty glasses.
Maybe
I was trying to clean your glasses.
Okay. I actually need to do that.
We'll
I forgot to do that. Anyway, so Crusty old crow, my buddy up in Canada, giving us his best Charles Xavier impression today.
Yes. With a hat and all, everything. Just really phoning it in.
I can think of at least one person that's wearing Cerebro right now. What you been up to today? I always like to ask you how the weather is. We talked a little bit about it. How is it up in Canada today?
It's been hot and wet and muggy and just a very phoned in version of probably what Tennessee is going through right now. You and I have talked about the heat you've been getting about, describing it the same way. We're getting something similar, just probably several degrees less than what you're getting, but not great.
Yeah. Down here, it really is the humidity. It's at the point where you walk outside and it sticks to you like you walked into a wet towel. It's awful.
Yeah. I like that analogy. Wet towel.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Hot,
like you just
towel.
walk out the door and you're just enveloped in like a towel from a sauna. It's awful.
Yeah.
But it cooled off some today. It was 89 today, so it cooled off a little bit.
Yeah. Brr.
Yeah, right. I need my blanket. I should have brought my blanket in here, but I have a giant fan that I hook up leave it in my hallway, and it's like a 24-inch like high rev shop fan, and just to help move air through the day. Anyway. So what you been doing today? You been up to anything? Doing any moving or painting or anything going on?
No, sorting out the studio room again, unpacking boxes and boxes and getting things put away. And like I was saying to you backstage, trying to see how much more room for toys I can free up with the stuff that's incoming for all of us this next year, and realizing where the limitations are as I unpack. That's what this week has been. But yourself, what about you? Now that Joe Fest is over, are you okay?
Yeah, it's over. It's settled down a little bit. The memories linger. That it'll always be there. It exists now only in my memory.
We will always have Joe Fest.
Yeah, I actually kind of enjoyed hearing some people talk about DFW, because that was this past weekend. So a lot of our friends went to DFW as well. So sounds like a good experience. I wouldn't mind trying to make that one year and see the people that can't go to Joe Fest.
Yeah. Didn't a few rock stars in our little circle go to both?
War Chest went to both. Mikey went to both.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Of course, I think Emerald
Mikey
Knight
from
was at both. Yeah.
Was it Mikey JMK Customs? Yeah.
Yeah. He was there. Some of the vendors, like a few of the vendors and stuff.
Well, but, sure, I expect them to go.
Shane went to both.
That's who I was thinking of. I thought it was either Shane or Dave went to both, and I was like, "Whoa, there's a rock star summer right there for you." Right?
Yeah, Shane's had a banger over the last couple of weeks going to stuff. I know he's had a good time. He's got to be worn out. Before we get too far down the line, I want to go ahead and say hi to the chat, and
Most
we'll
important
do some.
people in the room. Let's do it.
Yep, they're the real stars of this show. So Dave, Triple D's Dungeon in the house. What's going on, Dave? So,
Yes, it is.
Dave sent a box of stuff with me back from Joe Fest. I've still got to finish sorting, but um, Dave does, Dave does some awesome custom work and sent some
Is
stuff
it?
with me, and some of it has already made it to Instagram, but I haven't had a chance to do a lot with the rest yet. But I will. I shall.
Yeah,
Uh,
you shared a couple of pictures with me a couple of days ago of
mhm.
license plates, and I thought, oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well done, Dave. And you
yeah, those
described
plates.
them. They're not just like stickers or nothing. There's like texture and shit. And
Yeah, they made me some
yeah,
plates for my ramen vans, and I've got to see. I think I can put them on the racer too. I hadn't had a chance yet, um, but I'm
the
gonna have him
logic's
get.
there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have him make me some
Yeah.
more. Uh,
Mhm.
Turk Murphy's Toy Solutions is in the house. What is going on, Turk and Dave? We were a few minutes late. He said the Cold War getting cold feet. No worries, I'm sending in quick kick. So
I've
quick.
got Turk Murph's little science desk buried it back here in the corner here. The one that he sent me last year.
Yeah, I've got it right back here. I've still got to paint it. I'm scared to paint it. I'm scared to try and paint it. Oh,
You're
I
scared
got
of
to get the
weird
little
things,
sticker.
man.
I am. I am. Smell like cabbage. Small hands. Uh,
Terrified of paints.
Roman Graham's here. What's going on, Roman? How you doing, my
Hey, Roman.
man? Let's see who else we got. Derek Holloman is here. What's going on, Derek? Good evening.
Derek,
Good.
see you in
Good
every
evening.
chat group, man.
Yeah,
Everywhere I
Derek
go, I
makes
see
the
Derek.
rounds. He
Yep,
makes the
he's
rounds.
active in a
Let's
good
see.
way.
We got yeah. Sabir Del Norte. Good evening, fellow correctors. Darren and Crow of the North. So you know what that means.
I caught it in time. King of the North. Love it. Love it.
David R is in the house. What's going on, David?
Hi.
Let's see. Crimson Cobra Commander got Triple C up in here. Love the Snow Cat. Can't wait to get it. Back one myself. Wish I could get two. We're gonna
I'm
talk
in the
about.
same boat.
That thing. Let's
Uh-huh.
see. Matthew Matson is here. Same time, Emerald Knight. A lot of people did both. I thought Emerald Knight was there. I thought I saw
There we
your
go.
selfie with him, actually. I got to talk to
Mhm.
him at Joe Fest. I never really gotten to talk to him a lot before. I talked to him last year a little bit, but we didn't really know each other.
Yeah, and
He's cool, man. Emerald Knight's cool as hell.
and Matt, I think, has been at the center of the discussions that I've always seemed to pit against each other between DFW and Joe Fest. Why go to one over the other and things like that? And Matt's always been a strong advocate of the good times that are had at DFW. So, I wasn't surprised to hear that he went this year. And it's guys like Matt and the others that are kind of sparking my interest, going, well, I've heard them defend it. Now I want to go see it myself. So
I
maybe next year I'll do the double whammy. I don't know.
Well, Matt goes to DFW every year. Matthew,
Mhm.
sorry, goes to DFW every year because it's like what 30 minutes, 10 minutes away, something like that. He said it's right down the street. So, um,
Sure, but I mean, it's no small event that he's just happened to luck upon, right? It's a larger
oh
event
right,
with larger venues. So I would check it out just before I
yeah,
say,
that's definitely a good one to have close. One
sure.
of the
It's like
one of the big ones.
SDCC, yeah, like
Yeah,
going to an actual San Diego Comic Con. I've never been to, right? So
yeah. I don't
yeah.
know. Matthew talks about how much we wouldn't really like it anymore because it's so commercialized now and hardly any comics at Comic Con. I don't know. I'd like
Mhm.
to go just once for the experience, but all I've heard is you just stand in line all day, and that's no fun.
Yeah,
Mm,
I mean, there's got to be something in between to catch your eye, or else I could see it being a one and done kind of visit. But I don't know. That's
yeah,
what I like about being relatively within the last couple of years being active in the toy community, like getting into toys and all of that is like, okay, I did Joe Fest one year. I'm sorry I missed it this year, but there's now the intent to go to more things that I wasn't going to before, right?
yeah,
So
yep. 100%. Let's see. We got
Mhm.
Kyle is here, action figure addict. What's going on, man? How you doing? It's Kyle. Kyle.
Hey, Kat.
Let's see. I got this highlighted this from Sabir Triple C. I'm not as excited for it as many are for the new HasLab of the year, but I'm weird like that. Well, I think you're gonna find that you're not alone, Sabir, because I kind of feel that
No,
way too.
yeah,
We're gonna talk about
we'll
it in a
talk
little
about
while.
that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Right,
We're
north and south today for sure.
Yeah, little bit, little bit. We're gonna draw that
Yeah.
line somewhere. So,
Yeah.
let's see what Stanley Eberhard is in the house. Sorry, I'm late. I'm
Just Stanley.
transforming a big transformer that is shipped in a box 4 times too big. Checking for stress, cracks, breaks. What transformer are you working on? Not that
Transforming a
I'm
big time.
well versed in them. I'm just wondering. Um, Let's see here. I'm just kind of reading through before we get buried so we don't get buried at the bottom. Matthew says, I've been going to DFW since it was in a church on a Saturday afternoon. Um, last few years, it feels like the old JoeCon, and I know you went to that a lot and enjoyed that.
It just feels like the messages, things have changed since they took Jesus out of toys. Like just
Actually, they put Jesus back in toys this year, and they didn't have him at Joe Fest. I was going to get that what that line, the Bible Warriors or whatever it
Oh,
is.
they're right. I remember them.
They were there. They were there with uh 4 horsemen. They were at the same setup at the same table. And I was like, oh man, those guys are here. I'm like, sweet. I gotta get a Jesus figure. I know which one I want because there's 2 in the line, I think. I know which one I want. I'm like, I am so buying a Jesus so I can put him driving the his tank. And
Oh,
they didn't bring Jesus. they
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 weren't done,
didn't
right?
they didn't bring Jesus.
Jesus,
Jesus
Jesus the chase figure.
uh, I'm I'm trying to think of jokes, but I don't know. We'll
I was
say.
just thinking his weapons probably never fall out because they're pegged right into the hand, right? Like,
That's good. That's good. And you can put him like they don't have to be scared of doing any aquatic vehicles with Jesus because he can just walk right
no.
out there and shoot at them. So
Yeah, you can stand him wherever the F you want. This is Jesus.
yeah.
Hey,
Oh, I
please don't be offended if anybody is very religious. We're just having some fun. I
yeah.
have to put that in there. Right. Don't you make
Yeah,
fun of
you
my
might.
Jesus?
Yeah, might as well put a disclaimer in there. But like I make a little bit of fun of everybody or everything at some point. So I always said
We
people people were like, well, what if somebody's making fun of you? I'm like, well, I hope they're having a good time. So
yeah. There used to be a meme we used to have in the military where it shows a guy looking at it like a soldier looking at his map hiding in the bush and Jesus standing over his shoulder, touching him, blessing him. And he's like, fuck off, Jesus, you're giving away my position. Right? Like,
that's great.
yeah.
Um, but so I was actually going to get that figure. I wanted it when I found out they were there, and they literally
Mhm.
did not. They didn't bring him. I was disappointed. Oh, let's
That
see. Trying to
sucks.
look through some
No
of
pops
the
and no
snow cat.
Jesus.
Yep, nope, none at all. Ronnie Trickshot is here. What's going on, Aaron? Last one down to the swimming pool is a loser.
Well,
Little
I'm the
inside
loser
joke.
then. Yeah,
Yeah.
I must be because I
Um,
didn't even get there. Yeah.
and Bobby, I highlighted that a second ago. Yes, the biblical adventures. That's the line I was thinking of.
Mhm. I
They look
remember
pretty
seeing
good.
them promoted. Yeah. But I
Yeah,
didn't know they were going to be there. I didn't know there was plans for them to be there this year. I didn't even think about them. Otherwise, I
I didn't
probably would have
remember.
been interested as well.
I didn't remember seeing that they were going to be there with them, but I probably did when I looked through the stuff. So um,
Mhm.
let's see. Did you see them, Stanley? Did you look at them when you were down there? Did you see the figures that they had? Let's see. Shane is in here actually. I guess His ears must have been burning. Crow did a good impression of you backstage. Did a good Shane impression.
Oh yeah, want to see it? Hang on. Fuck off, Woody. No, that's it. That's it.
Oh, that was pretty good. He walked back on. He was getting something, and he walked back on camera with his hat backwards. It was like, shit, you look a little like Shane there. How you doing, Shane?
Thanks, I'm here all night.
Yeah, good and recovered from DFW there. So, let's see. Well, we talked about the weather. Let's talk about. Have you got any new stuff? You are you're kind of getting the shaft right now up there, aren't you?
So it was all I could do to just find some excitement when I got Dark Lawn. That was the last new fig I got. Right? It took me a couple of days to work myself up and be like, get behind liking Dark Lawn, right? And appreciate them. I really thought I was going to be able to get the taste of it out of my mouth, and I haven't. I had no Frag Viper, no Blowtorch, no Firefighter, no nothing. And I really thought they'd be due by now. So it's been a drought. All I can do is pre-order in my sadness. Hi, Cat.
Hey, kitty. Yeah, kitty. My pie.
Start showing them your butthole.
Dig my kitty's butthole. Which one is that? Because you have two.
This is Lime. So Lime's the big suck. Yeah. Lime's the suck and Kiwi's the coward. So
do they go out, or are they strictly indoor cats?
They're indoor. I used to foster cats, and they were part of a litter that I wound up with two of these guys out of it. So they've been brothers the whole time. So
okay, nice. I had a couple that were brothers quite a few years ago. It's I like cats, man. I just don't want to scoop a litter box.
That concerns me.
Yeah, he did. Like, he accidentally canceled it. Hasbro did, and he accidentally canceled it. He was talking about that last week. I was going somewhere with the cat. Yeah. Well, I was going to ask how we got along with Zartan the chipmunk, but I guess just admires from afar.
Yeah, no, he tries to make a bolt at the door every day, but I haven't seen what would happen if a chipmunk got near him. He'd probably just watch it and not do anything. He's not aggressive like that.
Yeah, if he's anything like my cats, they just be like, whatever, don't come in here and eat my food. I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sabir says Rattler resellers aren't playing around. 600 I've seen. Triple C, have no idea when mine will arrive. We're gonna talk about that too, because they're doing it kind of weird too, I guess. Actually, I think they modeled the way they do everything else around the way they ship HasLabs. So you hadn't picked up anything lately, but Dark Lawn, no Legends or anything lately?
No, not even Legends. Like, nothing new for Legends. I think the last one I got was Miles Morales with the comic book. That was the last figure I bought. So I've been able to put things away to get on top of a couple of pre-orders, and I've been slowly getting things put aside for Ace for when our hunter comes due, and try to be patient. That's all I can do.
I asked Ace about that at Joe Fest. I asked him, I actually got to talk to Ace for several minutes, and I think maybe he might actually remember who I am now. But I asked him about that. I asked him about the hunter, because he was like, he let me pick it up and like mess with it, and I got to work the bridge layer and stuff. And he said, looking at target of October in hand in October was what he said. So
yeah, okay, that's fair. That's what I thought.
Well, they've showed them all at the factory, and they've showed them like the boxes and stuff. Like, they had them laid out on, I don't know what it is, like a table or a production, whatever. And just, it was like a fleet of them, it was like, that looks like some kind of flyover from like World War II or something, where you're flying over the
Yeah, some
production facility. You know.
yeah, yeah, the old war footage from yeah, exactly. Nazis are in mass production. Yeah.
Um, so those, yeah, so those are gonna be coming. So you've been making room for those. What about the Misery Machine? What's the ship on it?
That I haven't gotten a notice that that's shipped yet. And they had on their site when I ordered it, expect shipping around July 31st. So I still think I have a few weeks to wait. I was kind of
Okay,
hoping Ace would, because it's a third party involved with it for the painting or the
right.
deco work involved. I was kind of hoping that that was an overestimate, but it doesn't look like it is.
Cause yeah, I mean they're done. Like he just run off a set, probably just a set number of the white ones and sent it to them. So it's probably coming from them, I would think. I don't know. I don't know how that'll work.
Yeah, no idea. No. But I got a motley little crew of figures to go in it, like a Scooby-Doo-esque little gang that I'm gonna put into it. And I love that paint job on it. I thought it was nice. The orange rims.
You you'll probably have the Shaggy like figure by the time it gets here too. Because those Scooby Doo Jadas are coming out this month, supposed to be those
Yeah,
first
I mean,
3.
I'll have some representation of that kind of theme anyways. It's whether I want to I don't know if I'm gonna buy the Jada Scooby-Doo until I kind of see what the offering is, because one thing I'm noticing with a lot of places out here is they'll only carry half the line, and then you may not ever see the other half. Like NECA,
Yeah.
I can't count the number of times I saw Bert in my GameStop, but never saw Ernie.
Yeah,
Right?
never saw
Like
Arnie. I still need to get the count. I still need to get the count and Pee Wee. I've seen them both like several times, and I just hadn't pulled the trigger on them.
Hey,
Jay
Jay Astro.
Astro is here. What's up, man? How you doing, Jay Astro? Oh, let's see. My little dog Norman sure don't like Willard the raccoon. Willard's getting big. Raccoons get big quick.
Yeah, so shared photos of his baby raccoon, and I was thinking of that the other night. I got three little baby raccoons trying to learn how to break into my compost right now. It's fun every night to watch that, but yeah, but they do get big
Let's
fast, right? Mhm.
Yeah, they do. They get big, very fast. Bobby Wald's here. Did you ask Ace if he's going to send Hasbro a cease and desist for using an image of the bridge layer? No, I didn't. I did not. Didn't think about it. I may
There it.
have. Uh, no,
That's the
I've
beauty of AI, right? It's their
yeah,
own
yeah,
design. They can AI the crap out of that all day long on the back of the box and get you all
yeah.
excited.
Yep, that'd be interesting though. We'll see. I don't know. I don't think they're going to give us a bridge layer. And seeing how big that thing is, like I don't see it would have to be a HasLab the way
A
seeing what they
cool.
did to the Snow Cat, the bridge layer would have to be a HasLab.
Oh, it would have to be, and so yeah, you can go for the Cobra bridge layer right, if you want it that bad right now. But the next one's Cobra anyways, so it's a HasLab way
Yeah.
down the road, if at best. I
Yep.
got my
Way, way.
Footloose this week. Gummy M16 and trigger hands on that one. Yeah, that M16 was gummy, right? So still time. Top Fun
I don't
Retro
know.
Toys 3D.
I don't know. Maybe it's gummy. I don't know. If I whenever I see Footloose, I'll let you know. I don't have
Still
Footloose
don't
yet.
have them. Yeah.
He's
Who am
on the
I to throw
way.
shade?
I've
Yeah.
I've paid for him. He's on the way. He's at the mercy of DHL. So probably
So
be who knows when.
what? So Sabir, I replaced my Footloose's M16 with one from Top Fun Retro because John sent me a bunch of stuff that he was nice enough to do. But what he's talking about is the M16 that comes with him is really gummy in the stock. Every time you try to get it into the shoulder, you can see it kind of like Brewer's Droop going down on the shoulder. So it is kind of gummy, but the hands, you can take me off full screen right now. I'm just showing the hands open. Take me off full screen. I get so self-conscious. Severe, it Punk brought it up when we were talking, right? You can open these hands up to go over the rocket launcher. Oh God, I hate you. Um, it goes over the rocket launcher, but that's why, it's good that they're gummy because they have to. But I'm with you, man. They should have had another set of hands inside that figure's, packaging.
I don't mind the gummy trigger finger because some of these guys, so Saw Viper, I think. I know Saw Viper. Some of them have really, really rigid hands, and unless you heat it up, then the
Yeah.
way they're curled, they're hard to get in the trigger guard. So you just trying to, like, you got that like 1.5 seconds you can stretch it out and try to shove everything in there, and get it wrapped around, or it's gonna start turning white.
Yeah, and that's part of that whole Hasbro gun argument too, right? Like we say, oh, well, it's too gummy. Okay, but if it weren't gummy, right, and if it was more rigid like a Vala weapon, you'd be worried about snappage on certain parts, like a clip that snapped off where the slide would go in, or the trigger
Yeah,
guard breaking because the finger is too stiff to fit in the trigger guard, but you forced it and now that broke, right? So there's this give or take with weapons that a lot of guys just they hyper focus on, I think.
yeah. And I don't have many Vala weapons. So, I mean, the ones I've got
Yeah.
are fine, but I know that's been an issue with some.
Well,
And
3D
talking about,
printers,
yeah, oh yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure, you got to be careful with them. So you talking about the like the gummy stocks? So get ready for it on him as
Yeah, he's
well.
got flamer droop, flame droop.
He does if you use the long one, but it's actually the effect. It's not the actual torch. It's the effect. The peg for these where you plug them into the torch is actually kind of long, and it
So
kind of droops at the peg with the big long one. But the stock, it
can
bends
I?
just a little.
So I haven't heard this from many people other than you about that particular problem.
I
But
love this
as I
fucking
say,
figure though.
he does look cool.
I,
I do want to say hi to GI Jetman, guys. He's been starting to, he does a lot of reviews. He's got a lot of reviews up right now. He's been kind of open to Fig's doing what it's it feels like you're doing 5 a week right now, Jetman. So guys,
yeah,
check him out. Go
what's up,
check out his
Jetman?
channel if you like it, subscribe. But I wanted to ask you, with the heat being as high as it is in Tennessee right now, right? Is your blowtorch, do you think maybe that it's sitting in a room where the room temperature might be contributing to some of this?
Nah.
Not
I
that hot,
this
eh?
Now this room, it does get sun, but it gets sun the first part of the day, and I mean I keep it, I keep it on, like, when I leave for work when it's this hot, I'll set my thermostat at like 75 or 76 and turn on that giant fan,
Hmm.
so it'll stay that in here. It's just not that. It's just the stock on the torch. It's not like Torch's torch where it's like really shitty and gummy. Like it's pretty rigid. It's just the stock and the way you have to fit it in his hand to get two hands holding it. It's just the stock on this one. But
Okay.
Footloose, like, I'll see, when he gets here. I don't have him yet. Frank, doom on you. What's going on, buddy?
Hey Frank, I heard something fell here earlier. I'm just checking to see if it was something I need to worry about. Nope.
Oh no.
Oh
Uh,
no, gravity.
Lo- Loki Wartooth is in the house. What's going on, Loki? Model
Hold on,
Misfit.
Loki. Another fella that made it through his second Joe Fest this year.
Yep. And of course he and Dave were there, a little bit longer, got to hang out with them uh quite a bit more this
It's a beaut.
this time around.
I won't make too many jokes. It's a great friendship story for sure. If it was Hollywood, they'd turn it into a love story. But it's a great friendship story, Dave and Loki driving off to Joe Fest every year,
Riding off into the sunset. Uh,
getting hotel
um
rooms. No one's asking questions.
Nobody, don't ask, don't tell in the land of toys.
It's beautiful.
Dave says you should change the name of the show to the Freak Show. Wow, what did we do? You're gonna have to explain that one, and hopefully I'll see it. Shane wants
Is
to
it the
know.
blanket?
Yeah, I think so. Shane has a question for you there.
Yes. The short answer, yes, of course. I loved that theme. It was a fad after Walking Dead came out. Somebody did I don't know what comic company published it, but they did like Scooby and the gang versus the Evil Dead or the zombies and things. And I loved the premise, you know, sexy Velma with a machine gun and Daphne with a machete, all that crap, right? It was like awesome. I think it translates really well into 6-inch figure form, and the Misery Machine's
Oh,
kind of there for that. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I'd like to read that. I didn't know that they'd actually like. I didn't know it was an actual comic.
Me neither. Never read it. Saw the covers. Like my local library, I'll pop in there every now and then, grab a graphic novel to read, and it's been there. And I've been like, one day I'll grab that. But it looks kind of childish, but tweeny, maybe tweeny, right? Not really adult
Okay,
tween, right? So,
okay.
wow.
All right. Let's see. I had something. Stanley. There it is. I already had it pulled up. As Jada revealed its third SDCC, Bison, Dalsim, and are the flame things? Are
Yeah, I thought the
they
flame
their own
things,
exclusive? I
or were they
think.
coming with the? I thought they were coming with the large set bison. Like the next couple of guys were
Okay.
supposed, because Dalzim had a
Okay.
conversion head for the other one,
Well,
right? So you get another
yeah.
head for your Dalzium, right? So
Now there is the green bison and then the other Dalsim. I'm gonna
mm.
have that green bison. Uh,
I gotta
just
have
because he's
one or the
green.
other, because to me it's gonna be a real crime if I end up with Blowtorch and I don't have a flaming body to stick in front of him. I want
I know.
that so bad for him.
What I need for the front of my blowtorch is I need the Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru
And
figures from
skeletons,
A
yeah.
New Hope. That's what I
Yeah.
need because in my canon, Blowtorch is an arsonist and he doesn't like old people. He targets old folks homes. So
It is a
um,
very outdated weapon for a reason, right? Like it's you're not
that's right.
blowtorches are not humane. They're not allowed.
That
So he's a
is
firefighter, as I
correct.
see it. Yeah.
And Ronnie says raccoons got nothing on Tassie Devils. Those things are freaking adorable, man.
Yeah. So
Tasmanian devils,
Ronnie,
they're adorable.
Ronnie, you're in a country where everything is bigger than what we have, like spiders, bats, birds, amoebas. It doesn't matter. Like Australia, yeah, you win all those discussions, man.
And everything wants to kill you.
Yes.
Clint is here. What's going on?
Mm.
Clint got to meet Clint for about 4 minutes and never saw him again at Joe Fest. We looked, man. I swear we looked. You vanished. You were gone like panties on prom night, man. Um, Frank said Breaker from Pulse got another delay. I didn't hear that, but I hadn't been keeping on top of the stuff as much as I usually do. I've been hadn't had a chance. What did he get
Mhm.
delayed to now? Let me look. August 1st. What wasn't he already August? I thought he was already August, or
Well,
was
some
he
people
July?
already have them in. Some people have had them in hand for a little while now, so that's a
They
little
didn't get him
confusing.
from
Where
here.
no,
They didn't get him from the
no, it
US.
must have been, yeah, it must have been shipped in from the east. But
Yeah.
mm.
Let's see. Johnny Reno's in the house. What's going on? Has a question for you.
When I got him, sorry, my memory
Foot,
just blanked out on what we're
foot,
talking about.
foot
Oh,
loose,
Footloose,
foot loose.
yeah, peace, Ruiz. I can't remember how those lyrics went. I just remember Kevin Bacon dancing.
The funniest thing is like the wrong song lyrics with for Footloose, and it's like Footloose, there's a moose, look out for the goose. It's like, oh
Yeah.
no, tall trees, look out, there's 10 bees. It's been going around for years, and it's just like a text. It's just like a meme. It's funny, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Madgus is in the house. What's going on, Mr. Madgus?
Hello,
Um,
nice. That's
uh,
Animaniacs.
let's see. I had to see what I had to see what Loki's talking about. That's what I wanted to do with Crystal Ball at Joe Fest.
Oh God, if this is about
See.
him and Dave in the hotel room, don't pursue this. Just we'll move on.
I see some Diddy lube in your future. I'm just
Hey,
messing with you guys.
apparently Diddy didn't do it.
Did
you
they
hear
turn
that
the
today?
verdict? Did they turn the whole verdict in today? I did not hear it. I
Found
knew they
not
had a partial.
guilty. He was found not guilty on the racketeering. He was found guilty on basically shuttling around hoes, right? Which is a federal. You can get up to 10 years for each count of that. But the big one was the racketeering and, possibly killing Tupac, Biggie, whoever. No, he didn't do that, right? Didn't intimidate anybody. Didn't have rape. Didn't have any of that stuff. So he
He
didn't do
ain't.
it.
Yeah, he ain't gonna do no real time. I've been telling people all
Oh.
along. He ain't. He might do a little. He ain't gonna do no hard time.
No, as a Canadian, all I can say, guys, is so this is this generation's OJ. Gotcha. Thank you. We gotcha.
Pretty
Now I know
much.
who he is.
We've had a few. Like we've had a few. We had Cosby, who is also out and free right now.
I
So
mean, the judicial system is fair and balanced and not loaded at all, right? No,
no,
so the
not at
problem
all.
was is that they. No, I joke, but the problem was is the prosecution didn't do a good enough didn't do a good enough job, and that was the end of it. Like they did not present airtight cases. They left too much open. I watched the thing on it today, and I was like, yeah, if they've left it open, yeah, his money can buy a defense that can pick that. So we is in love. Oh, that's beautiful. I didn't want to give it up there, low key, right? But you is in love, bro. It's
We's in love.
beautiful.
We's in love. Oh my god. So I
Just
gotta go
whatever you
back.
do, don't let Dave respond to this. Just let Loki run it.
Yeah, I think that would
Yeah.
be best. Tark says all his figs fell over the other day, and he just looked at the mess and shut the door to the room, considering selling it all. I've been there.
Yeah.
And what's worse is if you're home and you're like in the other room and you just do this, like, oh my god, like what now? Because most of us don't use stands, not for 6-inch figures, so they creep, especially the Hasbro plastic. It creeps with the variances in what temperature, humidity, and all that, and you got somebody in some dynamic poses, and all it takes is one. It just takes one. I had
Yep.
I had like 6 figures sitting here on the table the other day, and I just had no order or anything, just ones I was messing with, Frag Viper and whatever. And I set one down and wasn't really paying attention, and I just set him down in the front and looked at the computer, and they just fell like bowling pins. Like that one fell, hit the other one, it spun one way, hit the other one, bounced off this one. I'm just like, I couldn't have done that if I tried. If I tried to plan it out. I feel your pain, Turk. So send me
All
a
right.
price
So
list though.
I'm feeling a little inspired. I kind of want to put a YouTube post-it picture contest. I want to see everybody doing the old college human pyramids with their 6-inch figures. See how high you can build a human pyramid out of your Joe collection. I want to see who can get the most on there.
I don't think there's one figure in the line that's got good enough ankles to put on the bottom.
They're all on all fours, Darren. You don't put them all on twos. It's got nothing to do with ankles.
Oh,
The human pyramid, like
I wasn't
cheerleaders
a
would do.
cheerleader. I wasn't ever a cheerleader. I don't know. I don't know
What?
what y'all have to do in Canada. I wasn't in a cheerleading squad.
That wasn't about. Okay, so army cheerleaders. You're telling me you guys don't have cheerleaders in the army? What the fuck?
I've never been in the army, probably.
All we
I
do
don't
is
remember my
cheerleading.
brother ever. I don't remember my brother ever talking about that, but that might have been part of "Don't Ask, Don't Tell." I don't
Okay,
know.
so this is bullshit. So all this time you guys thought this was about camo? Those are pom-poms, dickheads. Like, this is what we do.
Nice. So okay, so you have 4 guys down on crawl position, hands and knees, and then you
But
got
just
what, 4, 3, 2, 1.
as high as people could build them, because I don't think anybody could get up to, more than 9. I don't think it could be done.
I don't know. Crow's issuing a challenge. What's the bounty? What are you paying?
Absolutely fucking nothing. Street cred.
Respect.
I will high five
Respect.
you at the next convention I see you and buy you a drink.
Respect.
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 There's a drink on the line. How's that? I'll buy you a drink.
That'll work. Oh, Purple
Mhm.
Elf is here. What's going on? Purple Elf was
Hello.
wondering if you might show up. Seeing you tomorrow. Um, what's with the purple crowns? Is that the got to do with the like the what am I thinking of? It status or the like in the chat,
Whoa,
the
in the
ranking
chats.
shit. Yeah, it's the rankings. I don't know why they're doing that. It's the top fans in the chat. XP. Much Call of Duty as I've played, you think I'd have remembered XP. I don't understand it. I don't. That's what it is. Like the more you comment, you get
Oh,
moved up in the
yeah.
rankings. Good for absolutely nothing. You ain't getting shit from me for it. So I don't know what YouTube's
So
doing.
I'm trying to wonder, like, when you look, Darren, at the chat, because you're the host, do you see those crowns? Because I've seen them when I'm in other people's chats, and I understand the psychology behind it. It's really manipulative, but do you
Yeah, I
see
mean it's
them here now? Who's number one?
yeah
Who's number two?
on the YouTube stream, yes, and you click on the crown, and you can actually see the top. Hell, I guess I can see the top 18, and GI Jetman, Mister Madgus, and Stanley are 1, 2, and 3.
There you go.
So
So your guys' interaction with content creators and things like that is all tracked as well, right? Like everything is tracked. So some people might find that rewarding to find a little purple crown in there to say, I'm really active in the chat. So if that's you, there's your reward for that now, right?
I don't know. Like I don't know if you can do anything with it or like there's leaderboards. It
Nope.
started about a month ago. I just was in. I don't remember where. Maybe Monday night toy
It's
ramblings with Punk, and I was just like, "What is this?"
it is no more meaningful than getting a thumbs up from somebody who read your comment and approved of it, right? But it's a dopamine release to see your thing earned an icon, right? Like it's I'm sure that's all it is. It's to placate chat as part of an algorithm kind of deal. But boring.
Word.
NECA
Let's
make
see.
Oscar.
I'm way behind on these comments. They are. They're not out
Yeah.
yet, but I think they're both announced. And those are another two. Like those are my 3 favorite Sesame Street characters was the Count, Oscar, and Cookie Monster. I love Cookie Monster. Um, and then Frank talking about Breaker September 1st. So that's what's
Mhm.
on there. We got Shark Eyes in the house. Shark Eyes Toy View.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, man? Doing Adam. Russell Cruz is here. What's going on, Russell? And same thing. He got an email. Breaker comes September 1st. I didn't get.
Mhm.
I have him ordered through Target, so I don't have him ordered at Hasbro.
No, I did mine
Pulse.
through EV Games.
Pulse is like they're sending some crazy emails. That's one thing we're going to talk about is like the whole whatever distribution, just their whole shit going on right now.
Because
Um,
I got the email for September 1st, but it wasn't Breaker. It was my Snake Armor was September 1st, and they sent me an update
yeah,
on that just a couple of days ago.
yeah, and I asked. We'll talk about that in a minute when we're going to talk about the Rattler just a little bit, and that ties into my rattler discussion. Shark Eye says, putting people on Front Street and hurting feelings. Uh-oh.
Mm.
What'd you do now? You have to send it to me in a message because I didn't hear.
So just everybody in the chat, just take a moment to appreciate. This is probably the best logo in the chat. Was Shark Eyes' logo, right? It's Snake Eyes punching a shark in the eyes. It's beautiful.
It doesn't get any more on the nose than that. Bad Boy Records coming back. Maybe. Maybe. He
Do you
spent
think he could?
up some money.
I don't know if he could, bud.
Yeah. Look, if Washington, D.C. reelected Marion Barry, he can restart a record label.
I mean, restart it, but to be the same thing again, like I look at what happened when OJ got acquitted, right? No. OJ had to lay low for a while before he started creeping back in.
No, but I guarantee unless they put some kind of stipulations on that dude, he can go right back to making money, not taking an active role in everything if he wants to. Dude can, whatever he gets fined, whatever this has cost him, if he's not doing time, he'll have it back in 5 years.
I just hope people check out Curtis Jackson. Snow Cat will be my first HASLAB.
Riley, I'm guessing that's Cross. Riley Cross.
Cross, yeah. Riley is another. He's, I believe, if I remember right, I've got it right. Riley is ex-infantry, just recently retired, so he's another Canadian. Yeah, he's been with my channel for a while there, but awesome, Riley.
Okay, nice.
I knew all the Canadian guys, especially the military Canadian guys, but all the Canadian guys saw this HASLAB with a different set of eyes, right? So we are going to talk about that a little bit later.
Yep. Liquid Identities here. 5 minutes after I go to bed, I sometimes hear a clunk and I know a fig fell. If I'm in bed, the hell with it. If I ain't getting up.
Nope.
I'll see it.
You ain't gonna reverse anything that happened. It's not gonna float back onto the shelf. So it's whatever damage is there is done.
I'll see it in the morning. Starfighter, what's going on, Starfighter? How you doing? I think it's cool. The gridiron phallus,
phalanx,
and the snow cat.
Stop calling it phallus.
The same dimensions.
I'm allowed to. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I wonder. Okay. No, finish reading the chat.
Okay. I wonder what the dimensions of the ramen toys tank is. Lastly, I ordered the General Lee for ramen. Yes, it is up.
Yeah.
I actually was looking at it the other night because I want it so bad, and it's available. It's not pre-order. Like it's in stock, and I missed it the first time, and that thing sells for like $700 on eBay if you can find one. He only made something like 400, and I think he made even less this time around. I'm not sure, but yeah, I was looking at it too. The tank is like, the tank's big. I don't remember the exact length. The tank is freaking huge.
The tank, the phalanx, and the snow cat should all be relatively the same size, within a margin of a give or take an inch in length, right? Anyways, I'll talk to that a lot later, but just going back to that General Lee, one of the big things I liked, I watched Ace do a live an hour before he had to get on a plane, right? And he was talking about that General Lee, right? And so Human Centipede, no, Johnny, pyramid. Okay. So with the General Lee, what he's had to do is he's opened it up. You can order it with the decals separate, or you can order it with the decals put on. Now, it's not like your standard set of decals. This isn't like what you got in a HASLAB, nor is it like what you get in a model car kit with water slides. These are like a rub, static kind of put on decal that you can screw up. And then if you screw it up, you have to order it again and scrape the old ones off and put them on. So I'm just wondering if he gets anybody that orders it without the decals, like, or with them separately to do it themselves. Because it seems to me the entire reason of having that charger is just to have that flag no one wants to talk about on it. Right?
I don't know why anybody would order it without it. Like, it's feel however you want about the flag and the General Lee itself or whatever. What else are you going to do with an orange Charger from that era? If not turn it into the General Lee, just order the black one, But I want that General Lee, man. Man, if I get Jesus, I can put him in the General Lee. View count probably just went.
No, it's gone up. I'm looking over here. We went up.
Hit that like, by the way, if you hadn't done that, because I always forget to do that. Johnny says Target canceled his breaker, saying it was no longer available. So if Target cancels it, I'll be SOL, I guess. I don't think he's going to be hard to get once he actually comes out, though.
No.
I think he'll be around. So I think he'll be around.
Just wait. The tree will shake some more. Things will fall out. It's all going to work out. Just remember, we're still in that volatile mid transition of where they're pulling figures out of. And just because they're still made in China doesn't mean that those shipping routes haven't changed and warehouses haven't shifted, right? So
true that. Joe Hunter 73 is in the house. What's going on, Joe Hunter? Got to meet him a little bit. Let's see. Get on down. Chat's rolling tonight.
Yeah,
I'm having a hard time keeping up. I know he did that, Mr. Madgus Ninja. Ninja gets all of ramen stuff early. So I know he did it. I hadn't watched it, but I've actually gotten to, play with the thing. So
I had a good look at it at the first Joe Fest when it was the beta type, right, and things like that. I've ordered the Hunter. I'm guys, I've said it before, right? Like ex-armored soldier, armored recon. I've got my tank qual and I've got my lav qual, so I had to order both these things. So this has been a very expensive freaking year for me because I have the tank coming, the phalanx, and the HASLAB.
And the van.
I will compare all of them in size at some point and show you guys. I said it was within an inch. I was wrong.
We guys see inches differently,
Purple elf, decal, decal, same thing. Yeah. I know what I said.
Johnny said, I almost built the biblical Jesus. So they had it at the one you went to. You can order it. It is on BBTS. I wanted to see him in person. That's kind of an impulse thing. Like I want it, but I don't know that I'm just gonna like go straight there and order it. But if I saw it, because when I realized they were there, I was looking for them.
So I want this Jesus figure now just because fuck off. It's Canadian, eh? Bunch of hosers, take off. I need that Jesus now because it occurs to me I vacated the pilot seat of my Dragonfly or the co-pilot. I would love to have Jesus as the co-pilot for my Dragonfly. I think that would look amazing. Little headset on him.
I want to put him in the ramen racer, so I can do a couple Instagram pictures to Jesus built my hot rod.
There we go. This feels like that scene in Step Brothers when they're doing the Lord's Prayer. I like to picture my Jesus flying around in a ramen racer with a checkered flag hanging out his butthole. And
oh, that's a good one. Jesus
taking the wheel.
Yeah, that's great. Somebody that has it is going to do all of these pictures I'm talking about now.
100%. Yeah,
I can say Jay Astro's ordering it right now. So back to any new stuff. So I got the new wave, with the exception of Footloose. He's supposed to be on the way. Heavy Duty is here, but he's not here. He's actually at Purple Elf's house. She has Heavy Duty, so hopefully I'll get my hands on that guy soon. So waiting on Footloose, Heavy Duty. Got the notice for the firefighter. Got a firefighter. I have a firefighter on the way, and I got the notice for a Hasbro firefighter. What else? I think that's it. And I did get this thing though. I was going to show this off real quick. So,
please give yourself full screen for this because I'm excited about this. I forgot about this too.
So yeah, I didn't want to forget to talk about it. I mean, it's not, you guys have probably seen this thing, but seeing it in person, the Fans Hobby Air Eagle. So you got
So
Flint in there because Flint belongs in there.
I just noticed something, Darren. Now that you've gone to full screen, right? It's a little blurry, but that's me
That's
and my
because of the
glasses.
light.
That's what that is. No, but also, yeah, with the green lights and the green thing, I'm wondering if it's showing the true green, like colors of the thing, or if your whole room is green. Is your whole room green?
My whole room's green right now.
Oh, okay.
Here,
So it's awesome. It almost like looks purposeful. There we go.
let's see if I can get some more.
There.
There we go. So you can see it a little
That
better.
thing's awesome. I
So
love that.
this thing is cool. I kind of had my doubts till I got to see it in person. I mean, I thought it was neat, but I didn't really think it was something that I needed. But when I saw it down there and they had such a good price on it, it's like, oops, sorry. Like, yeah, I need it. So if you guys have the opportunity to pick one of these up, and of course they did the Joe Fest Tiger Force one too, I recommend this. So I really am thinking more about their not all striker.
Yeah, I
And
saw that too. Real hobbies there.
fans hobby. Yeah. So
Darren's
man,
hobby.
if you have a chance, like they're as well made or better made than the Hasbro vehicles. I said what I said.
Oh, and you meant it, yeah. So I'm just off camera there for a little bit there.
Oh,
I'm
that's
just
all
in
right.
my backyard, but
We
no,
know you're hiding. You're the backyard battlefield in the backyard right now.
I'm actually in the backyard right now, being hunted by my cats, but having a smoke. No, so
Uh,
the other part of that is right, like so that was what 120 US, was that right? Was that or
one one
125?
120 at the show if with cash, and it was 125 if you used a card.
There you go. And I remember there was a site after Joe Fest that had them on, I think it was 90 plus shipping and handling or something like this on a sale.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a really good price, but especially at Joe Fest, you don't have to pay the shipping and handling. So that made it a little bit more compelling, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, that was the other thing. Like it was just out the door, straight cash, no tax, no, here it is. And again, like I knew it was cool. It was something that I liked, but I just was like, I don't know if I need it. But once I saw it, and I'd already seen all of the other people that have it talk about how much they really liked it as well. So I knew the
Mm.
quality was there, and getting to see it in person, I'm like, yeah, I need to pick that up. I'll say what's up to Chaz. The Guru is in the house. What's going on, Chaz? Doing,
Well,
man.
Chaz.
And then I had Stanley highlighted his ramen razor shipped June 4th. I'm gonna order the kit, the kit to turn the racer into the razor. I think I'm gonna order just the kit for my racer.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna come
Let's
back here. Cat, move.
Mr. Madgus says 3-star. When I was watching you unbox it, I found myself screaming, "Take them damn wings off!" So I've got it in the Air Eagle configuration. Everybody knows they made it so you can swap it to make it look like the traditional Skyhawk, and I'm going to, but this has grown on me. Like I like it with the wings in the front and the jets in the back,
Mhm.
just because it feels like classifying something up, like making classified, and it's changed just a little bit. It does look a little more modern that way, so I will change it around. But yeah, Riley, it is injection. It's not 3D printed. It feels like holding the hiss or the vamp. I mean, it's as good a plastic, I feel like, as a Hasbro.
Yeah.
Let's
And of
see.
course, I got
Go
you
ahead.
to pick me up, but you guys will see it on my channel. I got the Tiger Force one, and I'll be showing that with my Tiger Force at some point. But like
I
you
haven't
said, the
told
videos
that.
on this. No, but it's fine. It's not like big secret. It's just like
Okay.
it's the videos on there have been out there for a little while, so I feel like I could take my time putting a video out this on this thing. It's always there, right? So
Yeah. and you'll do a whole different take on it and
Sure.
different pictures because you're getting the Tiger Force one. So um,
Jet,
and
jet
GI Jet
form.
man, I am happy with my ramen van. I've got the white one, and then I've got the Punisher, the Raider. I'm happy with them. There are some things I wish were done a little bit differently. Namely, they need more room in the front. That that's the biggest gripe is you can't put just any figure in the front of it in the driver's seat. You get a little more wiggle room in the passenger seat, but in the driver's seat, um, and you have to pre-pose stuff to get it in there. Um, Legends fit better than classified. But other than that, the only other real gripe is I wish he'd have used some stronger magnets to magnetize the all the pieces that stick on. I wish the magnets were a little bigger. They seem like they're better than they are on the racer, but mine just like they you bump them and they fall off pretty easy. They're not going to fall off just sitting there. But
Can
I
you
love these vans.
could you reinforce and just glue a stronger magnet inside, or would it just be really noticeable from all angles? Like,
No, you probably could. I mean,
mm,
that's how they're on
okay.
there, and then they have in the roof the opposite magnet to hold it down. So you probably could change this out, but I don't feel good enough about my customizing skills to go
Oh
cut
yeah,
one.
that's not anything I would ever attempt, anyways. But I suppose it's achievable to somebody. Like maybe Gun Bunny Customs could do it, or somebody. I don't know.
I also broke the shit out of the mirror on one of them too.
Yeah, no coming back with that.
I
glue,
actually
glue
asked.
it on.
I asked. I tried, and it's real thin. The plastic on the mirror
Mm.
stem is really, really thin. I had actually asked Ace about that, and he said to email them, and they would send me another one. So I got to send that email. I hadn't really had a chance, but I'm going to email them and see if they'll send me another mirror to swap it out. It's not super noticeable, you know. And how many of these cargo vans do you see that have mirrors knocked off and tail lights busted? So,
Yeah, exactly. It's just bad driver. Need that
yeah,
razor for your knocks. Yeah.
well, you're only getting two of them in it. You ain't getting
Mm.
any in there. You might be able to fold Zorana up and put her in the back seat. So Purple Elf's and covering the cat butt.
I was trying to spare you that.
Woody
Quit
Triple
betting that,
Deuce.
but
What's up, Woody?
it's
How
the
you
only
doing, man?
the only puss I got now, Woody. Just kidding.
Just got it all up in your lap.
Yeah.
Let's see. So what are we thinking about how Yojo June turned out? As far as stuff that we saw, stuff that we were able to pre-order. Do you feel like I mean, there was stuff there. There was some pricey stuff there, but I think the volume of everything we got during Yojo June, I feel like it just they just kind of ignored it. Like Marvel and or Star Wars and Transformers got more airtime than GI Joe did in June.
I agree. Yeah, it definitely wasn't. It was like they say, no Joe June, but I think that was an exaggeration. I think what it comes down to is, and I think you might agree with it, and others might. Feels like we got the right number of big ticket items, but there was a real shortage on those small ticket items, right? Like everybody was waiting to
Yep.
see some digital renders, maybe a couple name drops, like with some images of guys like the Night Viper or the wetsuit, people were wanting things out of this, and what they got was the big ticket items that everybody kind of knew was coming.
Yeah, we
So
got renders. We got one render for something that we've already seen, that we've already
yeah, the
seen the
Night
actual
Force,
figures for. We've already seen the actual figures and they showed us the render. Like, really?
and that one to me, I can't see how they can't walk away from that going, all right, we just aren't paying the fuck attention. Like seriously, we just went on air and did that, guys, and we've done that before, right? Like it just that couldn't have left a bad taste in, or a good taste in anyone's mouth at Hasbro. Say we succeeded
No,
today. No.
I don't think they've been dropping the ball on that kind of stuff a lot. But I was surprised. Like the one, they had the one stream planned for that second day where they were going to put up the police officer figure, and they pulled it
Mhm.
back, and we all pretty much know why they did, and it vanished. And then, like, no fanfare, no nothing. They did put up a post that said the stream was canceled, and then at the very bottom in kind of small print, pre-orders will go live or whatever at 1 Eastern. Like, for
So
what? We saw the stuff leak last night, you guys. So it was a pre-recorded stream, and they couldn't talk about it because that one figure was in there.
yeah, and it just goes to show just what a problematic at time it is. That cop figure is just this big hood ornament on a massive train of a problem, right? Because it's like, as a Canadian, I sit back and I'm like, that is a beautiful representation of a big city police officer, be it NYC, LA, whatever. You guys got a glorious figure out of that. Hasbro did you right. And it reminds me that Hasbro's an American company. Are they not?
Yeah, yeah,
So be a fucking
yep.
American company and promote your country's fucking people and stop worrying about some sort of flash in the pan CNN headline about a negative cop image one day. The
Yeah,
like, to me at this point, I'm starting to question what Hasbro's identity is in its market, other than just a money raking machine. Like that, they just, yeah, they are what they are, right? They're Disney pawns or whatever. I don't like ripping into Hasbro because I like their products. But when I see stupid streams like the Night Force one, then I'm like, you
yeah.
are so disconnected from your market. Like, do you even know what you stand for anymore? Sorry,
And
Roman, I
that's
had to.
just it. Like, it's such a small, well, a small percentage of a percentage, and they just like, uh, how many of those people that were involved in that are going to be buying action figures? You think? I mean, any of them? Probably a whole lot more people that were going to buy them that had nothing, not even paying attention to that or whatever. Probably a whole lot more of that side that was going to buy these figures. You know?
Yeah. So go back to when we were kids and we first saw G.I. Joe action figures, and action figures of Star Wars, He-Man, just action figures in general. Even girls with Barbies, Gem and the Holograms, Rainbow Bright, whatever, right? Somebody once joked, they're not action figures, they're aspiration figures, right? They were the heroes that kids wanted to be when they grow up. They got to play with them as a child. And a police officer was that the policeman, fireman, soldier, doctor, all these noble trades. And at some point now we're afraid to make that figure. What the hell happened?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's
absolutely
ridiculous.
absolutely ridiculous that they turned around and catered to such a small percentage. That's right. You're doing a military theme line. Now, yes, it's fantasy
I know.
military, but if you're going to incorporate real world stuff in it, how did they not expect this? What is different going on over there than stuff that is talked about any other given day somewhere in the country? Same
Yeah.
similar type things going on, and they just picked
It,
that to highlight.
it's it's very confusing to see it turn into something so divisive. You know what I mean? Like, the country's already divided enough. Then you have all the people with opinions outside of your country who feed into the chats. But here's Hasbro going, yeah, no, it worked. We're too scared to produce this noble position, right? Because it's not as noble in your eyes. It's like, man, that's a toy of a policeman. You're fucked. Pardon me,
Yeah,
but where
it's
were all the
yeah,
renders? Yeah.
yeah, like
Sorry, I just
Chaz
saw
says
that.
here. Yeah, all the renders, we didn't get shit. We didn't get name drops. We didn't get any reveals. We didn't really get much of anything those first couple days, and then we were waiting. We knew they were going to do a Rattler unboxing, and we knew, uh after she told us, because everybody was like, even we did a show about it. Me and you or me and Pop won like a whole thing was where's all the talk about this year's HasLab because nobody was talking about it, and there was the rumor
Yeah.
going around there wasn't going to be one, which I never believed. And then they announce at the end of the month we're going to talk about this year's HasLab, and boy, they nailed it because they really waited till the end of the month. It was literally the last day of the month before they revealed
Mhm.
it. Um, so I felt like it was just a big old wet fart for the most part.
So I wonder what kind of impacts the friggin' whatchamacallit, the layoffs had, because there was some layoffs. I just don't know where all they came from and things like this. But when we talk about, I expected digital renders, I expected name drops, I expected to see a product for the first time, glued to the
Mm-hmm.
stand, waved around. I'm wondering if maybe we're picturing those project teams to be much larger than they are. Like they can meet these deadlines on these things when we could be talking about people that just have a stack of a workload they're chipping away through. And it's the same guys repeated, right? So
Could
maybe
be.
it's us not being reasonable with what we perceive deadlines should look like. But Hasbro, I'm sure, is listening and realizes we're dissatisfied by the pace, right?
Yeah, and they showed, like they showed what they showed. A lot of it was stuff we already knew we were getting.
Mhm.
Um, but that figure, like that's something people want. As soon as that firefighter was announced, everybody's imagination went wild with we need police, we need doctors, nurses, we need a EMS, we need a Tony's Figs fig, and you knew there was going to be an officer next. Like, how did they not do it or don't do it? Like that's leave that shit alone and just stay in the lane that you're doing all right. People want this. And I like Jay Astro's comment. Anybody offended by the concept of police is already not buying GI Joes, and you're probably right.
Yeah. I
Probably
find
100% right.
Like a guy like Chris Cox, I would say start paying attention to what you see big companies doing right now that is successful. And the things that really resonate with people is when they take an actual stand on something. You could be pro or against Elon Musk all you want. The point was the guy took a fucking stand and he did something, right?
Yeah,
And it might have been polarized to one side of an argument that had two different sides, but that's no different than the position Hasbro's in. Pick a side, and the side you're picking on right now makes absolutely no sense. Zero.
no, nope,
Yeah.
not a bit. And then Purple Elf says the world's gone to hell in a handbag. Safe spaces identifying as a fucking cat, terrified of being boycotted because of a toy that was pretty well received when it was in the announcement slash rumor phase. Everybody was kind of looking forward to it. Um, you
I,
know,
I,
Riley says, go ahead.
no, read Riley's too.
I understand if it would hurt sales, whether rational or not, but it wouldn't. We all know they're about money, but it's like they don't even have competent market research. Yes, realize who's buying your product.
So the other side of this, guys, is like I said, with my ADHD, I'm a spinning top of opinions, right? The other side of this is I could put all of this on Hasbro. I don't think we're the most rational market to please either. That's the other side of it. Right? Company's
Yeah,
just making its product. We have opinions and everything, but look at the level of outrage you see that comes and gets expressed. Like hate mail towards a company, death threats towards employees. It's all on the table as soon as you have something worth getting amped up about. And what we think is worth getting amped up about has drastically changed. We keep coming back to
yeah.
we're talking about toys here, right? But
Talking
there's
about fucking
politics
toys.
now. Eh, Oh, Jay Astro wants to sort of purple off.
He's a cat meow.
Yeah.
And let's see, I had yeah, Chaz, you're right. They better show out for Comic Con or we riot. They better have that figure at Comic Con, but it's in California, so if they do, I'll be surprised. Uh, but I think they should. Triple C's got a question, probably better suited for you, Crow. Um, legacy line. What military
For
would be
legacy,
good for a North Arctic trooper?
I'll tell you
Um,
right off the top of my head. StarTech, search and rescue. They wear the orange jumpsuits. They dive out of the big Coast Guard helicopters. They
yeah,
save people that jump off oil rigs all the time. You know, I think a StarTech is a beautiful figure for that line.
that would be, and they could really have some nice accessories with that too,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the basket or like a raft or something. Um,
sure. Yeah, it's just the first thing I thought of when I read the question. But yeah, it's a good question, Triple
that
T. I always like your questions, dude.
that would make a good one, like Kevin Costner in The Guardian, kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah. With
a
Ashton
figure.
Kutcher there. What do you think?
Mhm.
Like, can you think of others for that? Like, I mean, he's asked both of us, right?
For a Arctic, I mean, I don't I don't know. Like, I don't guess I have the specific like experience with it to know um what's out there. I guess like a specialized unit or whatever, that one would be good.
Hmm.
But I like just a general polar rescue unit, like a
So,
cold weather rescue ground based unit would be good.
so can I give you two more really quick? Seeing as I just thought there's two off the top of my head. The Canadian
Yeah.
Rangers, which are Inuit, right? And they'd be wearing the red
Okay.
hoodies with the flag. They'd have red
Oh
hoodies,
yeah.
tactical pants, and then all the same gear Snow Job has, right? But they, that's their uniform, and they're all locals. And then the other one I would think of, what was it? Bush pilot. That's how
Oh
everybody
yeah.
gets around, right? Get a bush pilot,
Yep.
just some guy with a toque and like a flannel shirt and a pipe and you know, ball cap and headphones.
And he'd have to have like the axe and the sledgehammer too for breaking
Yeah,
ice off of stuff and cutting his
yeah,
way out of shit. So
yeah.
yeah,
Just
that'd
nothing
be
but crates of chewing tobacco and wads of cash because that's what he's selling out there, right?
you need a crate. Let's say he needs a crate full of Crown Royal and maple syrup.
Con- Contraband smokes.
That's right.
Uh,
Yeah, Chaz says somebody tell Hasbro Antifa ain't buying Joe's. That's damn right.
no.
Joe Fan 84 is in the house. What's going on, Joe Fan? How you doing, buddy? Doing all
Mhm.
right, I hope. Let's see. So that's kind of my thoughts on Yojo June. I think, yeah, we got stuff. We got some cool stuff. We got it all at once. And then like
Mhm.
they lumped it all in and then they did the stream. I think I think they were saving the All Striker personally. Oh yeah, with the Saint Bernard. Hell yeah.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Hmm.
that's perfect. Little
Little,
barrel.
little drum,
Barrel.
yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Um,
Blast of
but
scotch.
but a big Newfie, throw a Newfie. I'd buy a Saint Bernard and a Newfie 2-pack in a heartbeat.
Hell yeah.
Um, but I think when they pulled that audible with that figure, I think the All Striker was supposed to come later. I don't think the All Striker was going to come that day. Not this is my opinion. I don't have any knowledge. I just feel like they pulled a little, well, see what we were doing over here, but no, look at this over here now. And because we all knew the All Striker was coming and everybody wants it, so they're like, well, maybe this will go away if we show them this awesome thing. And people
Yeah.
are like, that's great, but what about the other awesome thing? It's still awesome. I don't know what y'all are talking about. It's still awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd like to think things are just as chaotic on their end as they are on ours as far as intent and things like that. Like
yeah,
you read some of the comments that we throw at them. For every three good comments directed at Hasbro or the team, there's
yes,
probably
yes,
12 that are meant to upset them, right? And
yeah,
so
yeah,
I like to think sometimes they get together as a team going, how are we going to fuck with these guys this week? Let's say we're doing a stream, then cancel the stream, drop the Striker. Yeah, that'll remind them they have no power. You
yep.
know,
With
like
no nothing, we're just gonna give them the all strikers. So
yeah.
Todd C's in the
Oh,
house. What's up, Todd?
hey Todd, good to see you.
And Riley says the Canadian Rangers with their bolt actions.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can get through these comments here. Let's read. I'm behind again.
That's okay. I've been trying to stay with them, but I keep having to take my glasses off every now and then. So,
uh, you know, a figure with a dip can sculpted in the butt pocket.
oh, that's or rolled up in the sleeve. Yeah,
Yeah. Now
that too.
I could see Vala doing something like that, putting in a detail like that, because I mean
Hmm.
he's trying to go more realistic. I mean, you got Colonel Siege with the cigar, so
It
I
would
can see
work on his
Vala doing
six
something.
inch. You could do a guy with a wad of chewing, like just in his lower lip there, like there, no problems. You could do that for 6 inch. I don't think it's going to translate well into his new O-ring line, though.
Oh yeah,
He
it'd
wouldn't be
have to
able to.
stay with
It would look weird.
the 6 inch line for sure. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm in for a legacy garbage truck driver. Next HasLab is a Hasbro garbage truck
Yeah, it'll
with
come right. Airtight just
flame.
happened to be coincidingly released with that.
Yep, comes with
Yeah.
flame blast effects that you can snap in the back of it where it's on
Oh,
fire. Mm.
that reminds me. Can I show you the kit bash of my own airtight that I made?
Well, I'm gonna
I did
put you
this
on full
today.
screen for it.
Yeah, I decided this is my airtight till an airtight shows up. It's a dusty buck with a gung ho vest and one of Loki Wartooth's 3D printed guns there, and then Big Ben's head. I was like, I like
It's
that airtight.
actually it's pretty good actually.
It's
Yeah.
not at all like the figure, but that's what I like. Anyways,
Well,
you can take me off there. We good.
till we get one. So well, I'll
Yep.
give us one. So yeah, Purple Elf says they earned every one of those bad comments. They earned most of them. I mean, there are
Hmm.
some rabid trolls in their live streams. I mean, like some
Yeah.
horrible trolls in their live streams.
We're only thinking of the ones we've seen, right? As
Yeah.
people
Oh
who
yeah.
casually go into the chats. They get
Right.
a lot more personal. Yeah.
Dudley Do Right, but cooler.
Yeah. Yeah, Canadian
All right.
Mountie figure wouldn't go over well because, can you imagine if they released a Canadian Mountie figure without a single lick of controversy? Just be like, this is from our neighbors to the north. You'd be like, what happened to the cop?
Oh, he would have to have a special. He would come up with a commemorative patch for the 51st state.
Oh, I would alcohol rub that right off and be like, oh, you guys are the
I
11th
think
province.
I think we would alcohol rub that off too.
Probably.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
All right. So Rattler here because I just saw. I think Joe Fan was it Joe Fan say he is waiting on his Rattler. Yep. So I am waiting on my Rattler as well. Has anybody in the chat? I'm just trying to get a pulse. Pulse. See what I did there? Take the
Oh, I
pulse
like what you
on.
did.
Yeah. Who has gotten their Rattler? Because we were kind of talking about you don't really know where they're showing up. They're showing up like all over the place. And I have not heard a word about mine. And I called Hasbro yesterday. My cousin, his is supposed to be here tomorrow. My cousin lives like 20 miles, like at the most, like 24 miles from me. And he's getting his tomorrow. And he's had a shipping notice, all that stuff. I ain't heard a thing about mine. So
Okay.
I'm just
Well,
wondering, just from based on who all's here, who's gotten theirs.
I
Nana Madison, hello, how you doing
that's the
today?
one.
Thanks for dropping in. Um, got that one today. Sabir, no.
Stanley.
Stanley, 2 of 5 delivered, neither to me. So San Antonio and North Seattle. So I know you sent one. I know Gun Bunny's got one because he showed it off and was disappointed because he didn't have to take it apart anymore.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Shark eyes. That's what I'm talking about, Adam. Give me them drivers. I love the drivers and the pilots. So
Hmm.
it looks like just a couple people have listening that have answered have gotten theirs. So I called Hasbro yesterday because do you guys remember what happened to me last year when I tried to order the Rattler? Um, quick refresher. Anybody that don't remember or wasn't subscribed or whatever, then I did a couple videos on it. Actually, Hasbro would not take my money. I couldn't pay them for the Rattler. I used a specific card that I use for stuff like that sometimes because I get cash back. It's my Amazon card,
Mhm.
and that's the card I was using because that's a pretty good chunk of cash back on Prime credit or whatever. Uh, and I usually use PayPal, and I even have that card on my PayPal where sometimes I'll switch PayPal to that card rather than my balance. And I just used the card directly, and they would not take it. It would not. It declined the card, and I'm like, what's going on here? Why is this like? I know this card's good and get plenty of credit on this card, and I called, and this went on over a few days, and it took me like 3 or 4, 5 days, and I think it was 4 phone calls to them to get my card charged just to order my Rattler. And this is after the campaign closed
Oh
because they charge everything, the night of they start charging. And I think the next morning they charged mine and it came back with there's a problem with your payment. I'm like, say what? So this went on for several days. I did a video about it if you guys want to go back and watch it if you hadn't seen it. I'm really upset. And
I remember
finally,
that video.
yeah, I finally got a resolution. I got it ordered. I got charged for it. And it wound up being several days after the campaign for the Rattler closed. I'm like, all right, all good. So fast forward today, I didn't want to be that guy that calls them like a week after they start shipping, going, "Where's mine?" Knowing that the rollout takes a while for these. But I got to thinking, I freaked out because I'm like, well, I had that issue with actually ordering the Rattler to begin with. What if that is somehow affecting my shipping? What if like something crazy happens and they don't send it? They send my money back. Who knows? Whatever. So I got to stressing out over it. So I called them. And what they told me, and this is probably just the canned answer that they've given everybody that's called about it, they're going out in batches. We know they do that. They send all this stuff out in batches. And it seems like it may be more linked to when people ordered this time. I'm not sure. Guys in the chat that hadn't gotten it, I might be wrong. Maybe you ordered it day one. But they're going out in batches and they're going out all the way through July into August. So there will be people that ordered the Rattler that might not see it until August. And I may be one of them. So that was what they told me when I called to check. I just wanted to make sure that something crazy didn't happen and they canceled my shit. Because I would, if they did, me and Hasbro was going to have a come to Jesus meeting on the way that they conduct online business. So I also asked. We talked earlier about the snake armor, and I said that kind of rolled into the Rattler. While I had him on the phone, because I got that email with the snake armor last week or whenever, and I asked him about that, and it is still scheduled for September for US. So I think they'll move it up. I mean, I think it's probably going to show up next month, end of this month, first of next month. But they told me that it is not shipping out right now. It's still September on it.
Yeah, that's the notice I got was September 1st as well.
No. Yeah. Ronnie says, I haven't received mine, which checks out because I didn't order any.
The math adds up, eh, Ronnie?
You smart ass. So Chaz says no, he's in SoCal and no shipping yet on his. Have you got any kind of tracking or anything? Because I got nothing in FedEx, no label. But what's weird is I checked my FedEx app right like last week when they started showing up just randomly, and I had two things in my FedEx app and I didn't know what they were. And there was no shipping label. It was just like, hey, you've got a couple of things that are going to be coming to you. And I checked back, and over like on like the fourth day, they were gone. And that's why I was thinking maybe the snake armor, because I got that email about the snake armor, and that email says, hey, one of two things is happening. It's either shipping or it's not shipping for 2 months. We don't know. The new, the shipping date that my cousin got for one of his newer figures was June 17th. And it was like the 23rd or some shit. So no for Chaz, no for Todd.
It's a big bunch of no's, really.
Yeah, bunch of no's. So it looks like the majority of people have not gotten theirs yet. What's up to Grievance? What's going on, buddy? Good to see you coming back around, Grievance. Now I have a friend in Kentucky or Indiana on the border up there, and she was supposed to get hers today. She was like waiting for the FedEx truck today, so I guess it came. I hadn't talked to her. Let's see. Do anyone else drive around with the COVID mask on looking on people's porches? Because I don't know, but there's a lot of people that are. Unfortunately, there's a lot of porch pirates out there. That's actually like my friend that I just mentioned, that like she rearranged her work schedule because porch pirates are so bad in her area. She wanted to be there when FedEx showed up, in case they left it. Oh, let's see. Trying to read through the comments here, and so Chaz ordered his within the first hours. Nothing yet.
Yeah.
Nothing. Nothing's unlocked yet.
No, they just broke 6,000 this afternoon.
Yeah, I looked at it. I guess when I got home, when I come in here and sit down, I looked at it to see where it was at. So this is the slowest funding G.I. Joe HASLAB yet. It's at 6,047 so far.
Yep.
So still got almost 2,000 left to go just to hit that first tier.
Yep. I mean, I think in the end it'll fund, but it's whether or not we'll get all three tiers, I don't know. It's going slow.
I think it will. I think we'll hit all of it. So before it's over, it's a G.I. Joe email. Just Plain Yogurt. What's going on? Just Plain Yogurt. I love the picture. Merchandising.
Yeah.
Got an email saying Pulse Premium renewed and they charged me. Got an email an hour later saying the payment failed. I look at my premium membership and it says good till 06/26. That's what I'm talking about. Like everything that has anything to do with their online, anything, footprint, whatever, is absolute ass. Like the first people they laid off was the entire IT department. It's got to be.
What IT department? The guys that do the QR code on the side of the Joe boxes? That IT department? I got news for you, bud. That monkey died in its cage with the typewriter in front of it.
The same people that are responsible for getting the QR code to the file cards. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, probably won't see a kill haul. I don't know, man. I think I can see them. And yeah, like just what he says right here, I think if we do get a whale or something like a battle platform, I think Kill Hall would definitely be a tier. That'd be a good way to give him because he probably wouldn't be a huge seller in a wave. Pop Blender in the house. What's going on, cousin? What's up, you
Cookie
kooky kids? Probably finishing up at work. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Rattler comes tomorrow for me. Most of the folks in chat, Pop, have not heard anything about their Rattler. Like 2 people have gotten it.
I wonder if a certain somebody got the Rattlers they ordered. You know, the one that I bought, tried to buy the Dragonfly off of. I know that they had Rattlers on the way too. I always wonder about that.
I don't know. That's a good question. I might have traded it for lollipops or something. Fucking give away in a ramen van. I don't know.
Well, he ain't paying no debts. I know that.
I'm sure we'll see. Let's see. Your cousin just gave us your address. Pop expects porch thieves. I'll tell you,
Mr. Mad Gus. Yeah, Mr. Mad Gus in a COVID mask apparently is one you got to watch for.
Yeah, that's right. I'll again talking about like how messed up the shipping and stuff is. So I'll use Pop Blender here as an example. I talked to him yesterday when he left for work. He had a package outside, and it was, I don't remember which. I think it was Frag Viper, and it was there when he left for work. He come back from work and had another package that was sitting out in the rain, and it was Blowtorch, and 2 different like delivery methods for 2 different figures in the same wave, and they showed up on the same day from different delivery services at different times a day. And you can't tell me they can't streamline that somehow and take some of that money and pay somebody to make a QR code work. What in the actual fuck, man?
Let the AI do the QR code. Okay, take it off the box art project and put it into the QR code project. There.
Yeah, I think so too. That would be great if they just let let AI handle that, and then let the people stick to running the show. Do something. Yeah, get AI away from the box art. That's for sure. Chaz says if we can get 2 tiers within a week left, we should blast through the 3rd. Well, it's always got that big push at the end. I don't think this is like, it's definitely going to fund. It may be slow to hit the tiers. Look, if the Rattler gave us patches and we hit it and got everything.
We should roll into our conversation about this soon, because yes, there's a lot to go over comparing this to past HASLABs and what was on the table for this one.
Yeah. Well, I'm ready. We can go ahead and start. We'll go ahead and start talking about it. So
yeah,
I do have,
you have your format.
I've got the pictures. I've got the screen pulled up here, but I do have the pictures saved. So I'm gonna pull the pictures up because that way we can blow them up and look at them. So let me just a second here and get all of this in the right spot. And
staring at me. My cat's just staring like daggers through me right now.
Did you forget to feed him?
It's treat time and he knows it, but he's not getting any time done. Yeah.
No, you're gonna have to wait. Kita. All right, so I made a special banner for this. It's time to talk about the Adventure Team Arctic Campsite playset with vehicle.
Yep. That's what it is.
That's what this is. That's what it is.
Flint and Lady J's romantic mission. Right?
Absolutely. All right. So I know everybody's been talking about this, y'all. I know you guys have probably watched a bunch of streams on it so far, but wait, I just saw this. I had to throw that up there. Break your hand in 5 places trying to snatch that money. And you're gonna have to message me, Shark Eyes. I need some details. Um, yes,
Yes,
Arctic honeymoon. There it is.
it is.
Um,
Yeah.
so Crow and I really haven't given our thoughts. I have not watched any streams or participated in any discussion about this yet because I wanted to kind of save my thoughts for tonight going over it with Crow. So here we are. We got the Adventure Team Arctic campsite playset with vehicle. 21 inches long, 10.5 inches high, and almost 11 high and 10.5 wide. It's it's big. It's a big vehicle.
Mhm.
They've classified it up. So, what do you think about the
It,
size on it?
it's bang on. I like with the 3 3/4. That was actually smaller on scale with the figure than it is now with the when we grew it up for a classified HasLab. But if you look at the animated series, that this was a big beefy vehicle. Like you had to climb up onto the fender to get inside. It wasn't just, you know. I think they did a really good job with it. I think I was happy with this.
I love the way it looks. It's gonna come off like look, it's gonna come off like I don't like this thing. So my thoughts
Hmm.
on it. I do like it. So I just looked at the comments. What is going on there?
Hmm.
Oh
See,
wow.
I get lit up when I bring shit like this up on to other people, right? I've had this talk. I'm gonna name drop right now. Punk with Toys got into it with me because I was like, oh, I love this. This is like the Fisher Price Adventure playset camper, like family fun hour, right? And he's like, why are you being so negative? I'm not. I love the Snow Cat, but let's not call this anything less than it is. This was like storytelling playset, and it is.
It it absolutely is, and that's part of my gripe with it. So I'll go
Mhm.
ahead before we'll go through the pictures and we'll talk about the stuff.
Uh,
Um, I'll just go ahead and lay it out there. This didn't need to be a HasLab. Um,
I disagree.
my I don't think it needed to be a HasLab. It would have been an expensive vehicle, but I think they really overstuffed it to sell it as a HasLab with everything that they've done to it. Now, don't get me wrong. I like it. I have a lot of nostalgia for the Snowcat. It's one of my favorite Joe vehicles, but the liberties that they took to turn it into a HasLab, including what they did with some of the tiers, is a little bit ridiculous to me.
Okay.
I
So the
they could have
tiers.
done this. They could have done this for 200, 225 with frostbite, no
I just
electronics.
so I disagree. I think in order to get this onto retail shelf, yeah, you're right. You have to make it 200 or less, right? Can we agree on that to be
If
retail?
you're if you're going for retail shelf, but if they wind up going the way that Marvel Legends are going, which I think they're going to do, I think they're going to do these like fan whatever created like HasLab, but not a HasLab on demand,
Mhm.
like but not call it a
M-
HasLab. I think they're going to
Made to
have to
order.
get there. Made to order, yes, thank
Yeah.
you. I think
You're
they're going to
welcome.
have to get there with GI Joe, and I think this could have been one of those.
So here's the thing. In order for me to get this at $200, I think you could have done it, but I don't think you would have gotten any kind of suspension track. I don't think you would have gotten a rotating workable track. I think you would have had those little dumbbell wheels underneath a stationary track. And I don't think you would have had front wheels that turned right off the hop. I think those are gone. And for an all-terrain vehicle that you like to pose doing all-terrain things, straight wheels is very seldom the case, right? Until you're pulling out of a mud hole. So to me, like right off the bat, even just the lower level of the vehicle, I was like, you can't do that on the shelf. Not with those tracks, not with the suspension, not with the turning, and keep it under $200. That's
Yeah.
why I think it had to be a HasLab because people wanted to be able to pose this thing in a lot of different ways, and nobody would take a track that wouldn't move at this point in the game, right?
Probably so, but Ramen's giving us a tank with moving tracks for $200 that's bigger than this or
Mm-hmm.
comparable size at least, and with no
Okay.
figure or no
Are we
light.
saying that? So does that mean that everything that another company does is the bar that Hasbro has to achieve? Because remembering that GI Joe is one property of many properties Hasbro is responsible for. I don't think they're even playing that game with these companies. Like you did that, good for you.
Oh,
We're not. Simple as
yeah,
that.
you're
Yeah.
right. They have the weight to throw around, but they also have the resources to do it if they really wanted to.
Yeah, I just don't
So
think they're as free to allocate those where we want them. Clearly, we're not loud enough, right?
yeah, I mean, we're
Yeah.
not. There's not enough negative comments for those three good ones, I guess. So, and
Yeah.
Woody says, I literally saw an episode of GI Joe where the Snow Cat ran over a hiss. So everybody that's complaining about size needs to know their references. I saw an episode of GI Joe where Chuckles picked up a missile and threw it at a hiss and
While
blew up a
riding a
hiss.
tomahawk.
So you can pretty much knock a hiss over with a paper fucking airplane, apparently. But
But
no, I
that,
I never said it was too small. I just said
yeah,
it's not a dream project.
yeah. So, Woody, one of the things you guys picked up on, me and Darren were talking about this before during that stream with Cobra Commander talking about the snow cat. I think they repeated it a couple of times. You see him running over a Cobra asp, and I've been saying one of those is on the way. Right? And I'm guaranteeing, I'm saying next year, by this time next year, well, I'm sure the asp will be out because it seemed really purposeful that they were using that to demonstrate the snowcat power. Yeah.
Yeah, and the asp would be perfect. I mean, we got the stinger, we got the vamp, or the hiss rather, to
Mm.
tow it with. It was always being towed behind, always behind stingers. An asp would be perfect.
Yeah, and they've got the MMS and the HMS out of the way now, so they can do a new trailer vehicle and be like, "Yep, start over." So I think
Yep.
that's a good spot for them.
What's up, Viper Scout? How you doing, man? Good to see you. And Matthew says, Snowcat's 150, 175 vehicles. The accessories are about 100. So that's pretty much what I'm saying. Like, do away with the lights. Like, does every single piece need to be removable? Does it need a kitchenette? They overstuffed it to turn it into being able to turn it into a HasLab, in my opinion.
So that was the other part of this. I think this conversation goes a little bit differently if we hadn't even thought of doing this bivouac site and the honeymooners theme. I keep looking at Flint and Lady J as like Lucy and Ricky from the old Lucille Ball, right? And they're out camping and
That's a pretty
Frostbite's
good
the neighbor.
comparison.
you know but if they hadn't included any of those little silliness features, and I call it that lovingly, and given you two more really cool, or like one more really cool figure, I feel like the conversation and the tone of the discussion changes as to whether or not the value is there. Do you know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
a fourth figure, okay, it's a HasLab, I'm not even questioning it, but three figures in this playset, now people are kind of like, I don't know if that was really worth it. I'm like, it kind of is.
I don't know if anybody is really like dissing the fact that they're giving us a bivouac set, but
No.
I've seen several people like me dissing the fact that they put it in this HasLab. So the
Mhm.
the bivouac and Lady J and Flint should have been a separate set.
I
That should
agree.
have been that would have been a badass little play set. Two
Yeah.
figures, two characters that most people will probably buy in a different uniform because they're so popular and such good characters and the figures look good. But everybody's going to want that bivouac for one thing or another. I think that should have been an entirely separate set and do something else with the HasLab itself for tiers. I'm okay with it. I just wish they'd approached it a little bit different.
So Yeah, I think that the Flint Lady J Bivouac combination, I love the idea of that being a separate set entirely. Like maybe it's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, like the Porta John and Trench Viper, right?
Yeah.
Like that modular. That's a great idea, and I'm surprised that's not the way it went because the figures, I don't feel like people were really happy. I was one of the ones that said the Lady J was a must because to me she was due for a new image,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Since the retro and her original and the winter one made sense because you see her in the animated series and all the relevance of Lady J there. So I was like, yeah, Lady J. But I thought we would get a frostbite or not a frostbite, sorry, a who am I thinking of? Who are the winter ones? Avalanche, frostbite, blizzard, like just the
Iceberg.
whole winter iceberg. Thank you. That's the one I was thinking of. I thought we'd get a couple of those thrown in there to get Flint and Lady J, and the only actual traditional Winter Soldier you got was the driver,
Hmm.
and then it feels lacking in that loadout.
Yeah. Yeah. To turn it into, if they're going to go with the whole Arctic theme, Arctic survival. So, I got a couple starred here. So, Riley
Mhm.
says, love the emphasis on survival. Morale boosters like food, coffee, fire, shelter resonate with me. Army could offer me any gun in the world or roasted hot dogs. I'm taking hot dogs in the cold, and that's a
Mhm.
perfect way to look at it. That's they know that folks like you will see that and recognize that it's more than just a camp set that's coming with it. I joke when I say that about it, but there's people that recognize those things, that this is a an Arctic mission and that's what they need, being out for surveillance.
Well, and it's still very military themed in what they
Yeah,
provided. Like I can't turn a blind eye to it because Riley's drawing his eye on it, and I know where he's coming from. That is a camouflage military bivouac, cam net and pole system. That
right.
you have a missile system on a tripod. You have your military stove is in there as well. You've got a little military
Yeah,
stove there, and yeah, we when guys roll around in armored vehicles, we do bring little kitchenette supplies like a frying pan, some things to roast some food on. Yeah, we eat rations, but if we can go out the gate and roll by the kitchen and pick up some fresh sausages on the way out, we do that. Eggs?
yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I do really appreciate what they included in the bivouac set. But like you said, to me, it didn't need to be a part of a HasLab. I don't think people
No,
were braced for it. I think people really received it well. But then you start asking, is this HasLab worth its value? And where do you even start with the bivouac?
that would have been a perfect world building set to sell the whole thing, even the pull out part with the, where you can put the stove on it and the ice tray, all of that. That would have been a perfect standalone playset to sell and put any figure with it. Doesn't have to be Arctic. You could put anybody with that playset and people
Yeah.
would have bought it up like crazy.
Yeah.
Just plain yogurt says, if you don't like the world building, sell off Flint Lady J. Love the bivouac and wieners and eggs, all of that stuff. Mitigate the cost of the vehicle. You could. I don't. Not something I do. Like I keep it all together if I buy it. I like it. Like I don't dislike it. I want it all together. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Some people, you
Mhm.
definitely could do that and get some of your money back. Um,
So I'm gonna ask you to put up where is it? Viper Scout's comment when you get to it, but I want to address a mistake I think Lenny made that he might regret one day. I don't know. Do you remember when he covered the fish? What he did with the fish?
yeah. Uh,
Right? He said,
Yeah, talking about the paint or the where you can put the
yeah.
hook through them.
And he was like, I made it metal and it looked stupid. And then I put a black wash on it and it looked like a goddamn fish. Like he was
Look
really
like a
happy at
fish.
how simple it was. I was like, don't tell everybody how cheap and easy your deco is. Because we're
Yeah,
gonna hold you to that. Like, don't tell me it's too hard to do this shit because I saw what you did with the fish, and that's what we're asking you to do with these 27 other things.
yeah.
you
The
know?
weapons and everything else. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I was like,
And
Lenny, don't wing it, man.
yeah. Chad says there's a minimum order quantity to be viable. Hasbro doesn't want to make something this big and take that chance, so HasLab it is. Fair
Mhm.
point. Um,
It is, yeah.
you and then was this the comment from Viper you were talking about?
Yeah, so when we look at I've been thinking about that since the moment I saw the thing. I was like, I wonder if they can
Same.
cover the troop area. Because if you think back, we're not going to get I don't see us getting the GI Joe APC, the amphibious APC from '83, I think it was. That one came out. The big carrier that held 10 troops that the
Right.
Phalanx is filling, right? But if they had made a way to get that tent piece, like that fabric, over the canopy of the troop area, and if you could re-roll the bars as kind of a support system to elevate it a bit, I would think that would have been a brilliant nod to that APC. But what I saw in the photos, and remember that wasn't a finished model they were showing, there was still a little bit more tweaking and details they had to do, is that troop handle rail system that's on the outside of the scroll through the photos till we can see the just the top of
On the
the when it's
back.
open. Well, yeah, when it's when the thing's off, there's a handle system on the side. Yeah, that black handle system, because of the way that's pegged down, I don't think there's going to be a way to slide that fabric over it like a blanket. So I think the most you're going to be looking at is maybe wadding up your cam net and putting it in the bench.
So I was waiting the whole time for them to explain to me how the poles from the bivouac and that canopy stretched over the back of this. That whole
Yeah.
stream, I was waiting on Lenny to go, oh, and this was really cool. We also did this with it because that makes sense. Like you just gonna have some dudes riding in the back in 10 below, just
Hmm.
chilling, just riding through the mission. I was waiting the whole time for him to show us how that bivouac canopy fit on this, and I was so disappointed when he never did.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
it
uh,
unfortunately I don't think it would work.
Nor did he mention that it can be stored anywhere on this. I guess
Yeah.
you could probably fold it all up and throw it back there. Something else that I think if they're going to go this route and give us that bivouac set, it should
Mhm.
be able to be stowed somewhere on this vehicle.
I agree, but I think he covered that because it was when he was getting into the interior, having taken the rocket off. He's like, "We were not done this production model yet. Like there was things I needed to do in here, right?" And he was talking about that row seating and the things that he wanted to detail stuff up. And I think one of the reasons you don't mention the bivouac can fit in there because obviously that cam net can fit into a bench if you force it, right?
Yeah.
But though I don't know if those poles can be broken down to a length that does any of that. And I don't know if he had the ability to do anything storage wise and be able to say it because he wasn't done it, right? So just don't even bring it up.
And you're right. They made multiple mentions that this thing was not finished and he was scared to move it because he was afraid he was going to break it. Am I the only one that felt like this was completely rushed and they were completely unprepared to show us this stuff? Did anybody else
No,
get that feeling? I did. I mean, the shit wasn't even like painted up and part of it didn't like come off, something come off, and they was just like, yeah, it's a model or whatever. The figures weren't painted up. The faces, like they didn't do that with the Rattler or the Dragonfly. Like what they showed us was almost what we got.
no, but remember what they did with the hiss. They ran a campaign where you voted on what the colors were going to be like for something. Like there was a
Yeah,
slow build to the end product, right? So to me, having the artist proofs of the Flint and Lady J, whatever you've shown me what they're generally going to look like, colors
yeah.
aside. I was fine with what they showed, and I'm fine with it being incomplete because it gives you a little out hoping that maybe they're going to throw in one or two more details and surprise you when you get it out of the box. You didn't see them in all the videos
Oh
going
yeah.
forward, right?
Yeah, I think they will. I think, but that's the thing. Like we're still working on this. We're still adding this. We've got to make this fit better. It just seems
Mhm.
like the other stuff that when they've done this, it's been way further along
Yeah.
when we've gotten to this stage and they've showed it off. Maybe it's just me, but I was just watching it going, they were really unprepared for this. I wonder if they were planning to reveal this in June or if they were going to wait. And then they were so much pushback from Yojo June being a turd that they moved it up.
Don't
just a
know.
thought. I don't know. I don't know. We'll never know, but it's just a thought.
Yep,
Um,
could be any of that. Like, could be they need
Bivouac
to have
would,
the projected numbers in on time or something too, right?
yeah,
Like, get your numbers in. Let us know what your forecast is for what you're gonna do, right? They
yep.
wanted to get that done
Um,
out of the way.
Yep, and I believe that 100%. Bivouac will be released in the line in different colors. Yeah, for sure. We're gonna see that again. I'm fine with it. Like it's a cool little set. They can even like do different accessories with it. Um, let's see.
Yeah, Polly Pockets.
Cooking accessories to play Polly Pockets. Jay Astro says, I bet no other chat or stream in history has used the word bivouac as much as now. Probably not.
Yeah, right. Probably not.
Probably not.
No. Oh, that's
I
okay.
think,
We'll call it a half shelter. How's that? Half shelter.
yeah, there we go. Um,
Yeah.
Box, it'll have its own packaging. I don't know. Yeah, it'll be, I think it'll be in a box because they'll make a little tray for all of the stuff with it. I think it'll be
Mm,
boxed in there.
I don't know. I'm gonna reserve making a call on what's gonna happen with the half shelter and accessories after HasLab because I don't know if it's worth remarketing, a year from now. Then we'll have to wait and see because
Oh, they could do that thing in Cobra for Cobra colors. Do that in Fireflies
sure.
camo or
I think you'll see
like
other modular. I think we'll see other modular playset stuffs, but this is actually number two playset, right? First one was
yeah,
Cobra modular toilet with trench viper.
yep.
Now we have a Joe Winter bivouac. I don't know if the focus will be on repeating that or giving you another modular playset in with something cool. Bivouac drink. Yeah, I
Uh,
don't drink.
and I actually need to go fix another cup of coffee, so we're gonna take us a break in just a second because
Yeah.
I want to get to Triple C's comment right here. Question for everyone. Say they lower the prices on the HasLab, got rid of the lights and the tiers. Would you rather not have the tiers, or do you think it needs the tiers and the lights? Um, if they're going to call it a HasLab, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, put the lights and stuff in it, and tiers are just incentives to get it done. Like it's not costing them that much, I don't think, to do some extra figures, especially if there's something like the hiss where they're using a lot of the same parts for the figures. Yeah, if they're going to make it a HasLab and call it a HasLab, yeah, go all out with whatever you're going to do. I just feel like with this, it's something that they didn't like. They could have sold this without having to make it a HasLab. People would have bought it. So for me, that's my answer. To make it a HasLab, it needs the lights and the tiers.
Yeah, I agree. Otherwise, it's just a retail shelf edition of that, and I think that's where the nature of that question comes from because there's always been talk about reprinting the hiss without those things and throwing it on the shelf for retail.
And he mentioned an Arctic hiss in this
So
stream.
they did, and that was the thing. He said to camouflage them up, Destro, right, and give them the
Mm-hmm.
winterize their fleet or whatever. I don't know if that means reprinting hisses or putting sticker packages out there for winter themed
Oh,
vehicles and Tiger Force themed vehicles.
well, I think they set a precedent with the Ghostbusters Proton Pack that they're doing. It's not as fancy and pimped out as the HasLab version of it was, but I think
Okay.
that set a precedent and told us that you may see some of this stuff stripped down again, stripped down with maybe
I
not
hope
all the
so.
accessories, not the lights in it,
Yeah.
maybe just the lenses, but not the actual electronics or whatever. Perhaps, who knows? I think they're going to eventually because it does have that disclaimer or whatever that says, it will never be offered like this again. It never doesn't say we're going to take it and take some stuff away and paint it another color and put it out on Pulse as an exclusive. It just says, just like this, we won't ever do it again.
I mean, I would buy that. I think everybody here would probably like that. The only thing that's in my way of seeing it happen is I look at how wishy-washy and volatile this consumer base is for when it wants a product, what it says it wants, and then what it achievably buys are often two different things, right? So if we don't sit there and say, well, the line is dead all the time, and we don't hear
Yeah.
like rage quits coming out all the time, then I'd feel assured to reprint this stuff and say, yeah, no problem. You guys you're still into it. But the amount of feedback that Hasbro gets every wave and every, pause is it's got to be 50-50. People love us, people hate us. Well, I wouldn't bank
Yeah.
on that. I'm like, this line does have a lifespan. It's not dead, but it has a lifespan. I don't know if we're going to get there.
Yeah, they can. I mean, they can stretch this line out if the demand is
Hmm.
there. The figures and the vehicles are there for 10 years, easy. We might not make it that long, and can the torch be passed? But they could theoretically. Um,
Yeah.
so here's something
You
that
needed
I
to take a
wanted to.
break, though, didn't you? Oh, I thought you needed to take a break soon.
Well, I do, but we're having a really good conversation. So
That's
I'll
fair.
put
Yeah.
you on full screen. Talk about something. I'll be back in just a couple minutes because I got a couple
Oh,
comments starred here. What's up, Con Huesos? The half shelter is that character we
what?
created. Swamp ass lives. On that note, I'm gonna go fix a cup of coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay. So I always try and think of something to rant about while he's gone getting coffee. And the HasLab is definitely going to be one of them. Because one of the things, if you guys are on Facebook right now, maybe you're catching it, but HasLabs remind us of a little bit that there's a bit of fucking elitism in toy collecting. I have never been more disgusted than watching a group of grown ass men call another guy broke ass poor because he wasn't interested in the HasLab, because he had a complaint about it, right? He was dissatisfied, and so he wasn't buying it. And the way this guy got lit up, it was like Ramsay Baratheon and Game of Thrones and those friggin' dogs, like, go get him, tear him apart, and everybody's mocking this guy. And I was like, how pathetic is it to levy someone's finances you've never met over them and try and shame them because of he didn't like your goddamn toy? Like, that is absolutely pathetic. If anybody knows me really, more than just a little bit on the channel, they know I'm not a big advocate for going on Facebook a whole lot. There's not a whole lot productive going on, and those things that are productive, that's why I have an account. But I made the mistake of looking at some of the conversations that stem around whether this HasLab is worth it or not. And honestly, there are some fucking disgusting people in these Joe groups that, no wonder we're so divided, man. Some of these people just flap their gums to fucking just get that hate back at them. And it's clear when you start talking like, you're just a broke ass bitch because you don't like this toy I got three of, like, that's stupid. Anyways, that was my rant. I'm just seeing, was we were irritating Eric? Yeah, Joe Fan, you said we can rant on how irritating some ignorant customers are. I think I did that. Johnny Reno, yeah, Crow, it's exactly same in the firearms community. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, man. I love toy collecting. I think it's great. I get lost in it like everybody else. I'm putting grown up money into this thing. So I have grown up opinions for sure. Everybody's going to. But I never lost sight of the fact we're talking about toys. And if you start levying some sort of fucking elitism to this shit, I'm sorry, man. That takes a lot of the it takes a lot of the enjoyment out of what we're doing. God, he's taking a long time with that dog. You guys want to see shelves? Let's do that. Here's just some shit I was playing with today. Well, getting my shelves up. Like, if Magneto is one of the Cobra commanders, would he capture Scarlet Witch and Franklin Richards and Xavier, and would he give them over to people like Mindbender and shit like that? If you're wondering where the Joe collection went, it went up on that wall. Just for now. I'm trying to make room for some big stuff that I've got coming. Tiger Force. I gotta show you this. I didn't show this enough in my video, and I feel bad. Top Fun Retro Toys 3D. John sent me a package of some weapons, and I have more coming that I bought off him at Joe Fest. Plus, he donated some more, I guess. But this grenade launcher effect is awesome. I did put it in my video on Snug Ren, which is just new guns backwards. If anyone didn't figure that out, but it's just a nice peg post right there, and it goes in beautifully. Yeah. Awesome little grenade. So that's Top Fun Retro or Top Fun Retro Toys 3D, John. And if you guys were at Joe Fest, you've already met him, but that's definitely an awesome one to get. Okay. So let's catch up on the comments for a second here. How's me? Oh, Joe Fan says I got people coming in my store needing car parts. I have no clue what they drive. Okay. Bro, I am an 8-bit. Oh my god, yeah. Now I'm seeing it on the camera. What the hell just happened? Oh shit. I hope that went away. Yeah, so sorry guys. I'm just seeing it on the camera now, how badly that's going back. I hope let me try turning my camera on and off again. I don't know. Hey Darren, I need you to come back so I can log in, log out. That's probably what I'm gonna do. When
Well, you
Stay
just
with
go
us,
handle
guys.
your log.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna
you
sign out.
cleared up when you
Did
went
I?
out to when you went out in the yard and came back. It cleared up. That's what I was saying in the beginning. You're a
Yeah.
little choppy, but your sound's fine.
No, but Woody's saying that the video, I look like I'm in 8-bit right now, and I'm looking at my phone and I can see what he's saying. So I don't know if it's so if my camera's dirty or if I've just got a bad signal right
No,
now. But you
it's
really
signal.
okay. Maybe take me off
Yeah.
full screen as soon as you're able to. That would be
No,
maybe
I was going to
maybe
let you roast for a minute.
yeah, there we go. All right. I'm gonna log out, log back in,
Okay,
and yeah, just play around with the camera for a minute. But
we'll be here.
okay.
Um, so I do have this comment I highlighted from or starred from Triple C before I went on break, and he said, "Are the lights battery or USB on the Snow Cat?" And we don't know. I'm guessing they're going to be battery because they very easily could have put a USB plug in the Rattler and they didn't. Right? I mean, I don't have it. Maybe they snuck one in there, but they didn't point it out on the unboxing video. So I don't know why they won't adopt putting in a USB plug for constant power. I'm going to bring ramen up again. The racer right there. You plug it in. Don't even need a battery. You put a battery in it and take it with you. But I really wish that they do that with the Snowcat. Maybe that's one of the things that they're going to add when they go back and they've got to work on it. So Stanley says nothing has been USB yet. So I guess nothing that has electronics across the line. So that would be sweet if they would do that. I don't know why they want to adapt that technology. But the like in the racer, it is one of those like funky, it was like an RC car battery pack with the plug that you got to connect. And I ordered it on Amazon. It was like $8, but it would be sweet if they would do that. And that brings up another point is it's a snowcat. Where are they going to put the batteries? People are going to want to take pictures of it in the snow, right? Now I remember back when the hiss come out, and like I was joking with Lawrence with the Punk with Toys because we were talking about taking your hiss outside to do pictures and do photography, and like taking great care to not get it sunk up to where water hits the battery cover or snow, whatever. So where are they going to put the battery on this thing to make sure that it's protected? Or are they going to do a rubber gasket around the battery compartment to weatherproof it like a Pelican case or something? Hopefully they'll do something like that. Surely they'll think that far ahead. Yeah, rubberize the battery tray. Triple C says they did it with the Ecto One. Did they? I think you're right. I think they did do battery with the Ecto or the USB with the Ecto One. Much better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Woody.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I mentioned it at the beginning, but the sound was fine. You weren't cutting in and out. So,
No, there's something was off with my camera. My screen
okay.
got cracked. So.
All right. So let's actually look at some of the stuff on here. We've debated a lot about it. So we got our ski missiles that fold up into the little box, and you can save the or take it out, use these as storage crates. Like we're way past. There we go. So we're way past the picture, skipping ahead so we could see the exploded view. I like the fact that you can use the skis for the ski pedos for a snowboard. I thought that was pretty awesome that they did that with it.
Yeah,
We got our
they definitely put a cool feature on one of the most hated fucking things I had about the Snow Cat was those ski
I
pedos.
loved it. I loved it. I
Why not
loved the
just shoot a
ski
normal
pedos.
missile? Like, what if you can see it? Why do you have to launch it on a ski? Just shoot it with a rocket.
We're talking about toys.
I know. But that was always my question is like, why do I have to ski it to the target?
I always loved the ski pedos. I know they're divisive. They always were, but I know they're divisive. So over here on this side, we've got the ice tray that pulls out. Now I thought this would have a little like a little kick down on the what we're seeing as the left side that folds down like legs.
Yeah, like a supportive leg. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it will, but I mean they didn't show it, but maybe it will, and yeah, and it'll fold up just like a folding table.
That's a
And you
good point.
slide that
It
back
would be
in.
a cheap piece to add, right?
Yeah, wouldn't I mean it would they talk about like the world building and the playability. Like I think that's definitely something that you would want if you slid this thing out of there. It wouldn't be hard to do. Um,
I hope they
I
put a
like the
touch of
ice.
paint so that I love the ice, even though I'm laughing. I'm like, because you can't find ice anywhere else the Snow Cat's going.
I know.
Gotta
That's
have it preserved under the
and
but I hope they put
it
some
looks
paint on
like
this.
ice.
It
Yes.
does.
Yeah.
It's a good effect, but it's like, man, maybe this is not the vehicle that needs ice. I don't know. But it's great. I love it. But I
And
hope they do paint because that's supposed to be a hot plate over there on the
yeah.
left of that, right? And I'm like, you can't tell that right now.
And
On a
they did
HASLAB, I don't want
mention
to have
that.
a question.
Yeah, that's good. That's a damn good point. Now they did mention that the camp stove will fit in that recess that
And maybe
comes with
that's what
the
that is.
bivouac. So
Maybe
I
that's all
guess
it
it
is a
probably
recess.
it just snaps down over that piece right there, that circular piece, perhaps. But you know, as I was listening to it, and I was like, "Oh, come on, man!" But they are going for world building. This
Yep.
is a cool, if they're giving us the mess set, so this is a cool little feature. Just if they're gonna overstuff it and build it up, throw this shit in there because it's cool. You
I
got your
just think
winter
back.
assault vehicle with the ice tray.
So I remember how I felt as a kid in the 80s watching the new G.I. Joe toy commercials and the little kids would be playing, be like, look, Duke and Tripwire are setting up the ambush for Destro. And Destro would roll in, set off, and the kids are having so much fun. I'm like, where was the kid going, look, Lady J and Flint are hungry and having a barbecue. Lady J caught a fish. It's like, where was that commercial?
Exactly. That was in the comic. That was
Yeah.
exposition.
I do
for
love
the
this.
comic.
Yeah, I do
I
love the
think it's
world
great.
building. I do. It's just that it's got. So again, I can't stop thinking about Lucy and Ricky. Like I just can't.
They are Flynn and Lady J are the perfect Lucy and Ricky too.
Yeah.
Because he's all serious and sarcastic and shit, and she's kind of whimsical. So that's perfect, man. It's a perfect analogy. So we get us a side view of it over here. Oh, and the it's not in the I was going to show the the thumbnail, it's not in the thumbnail because I made the thumbnail before it released, so I didn't go back and actually put this one in the thumbnail. But boy, that would have been a good idea if I had time. So it looks like a lunar rover from the side to me. A little bit like it looks like that's what I see.
Actually, now
Does
that
it
you've
not?
said that, I'm like, it's the same color of every Buzz Lightyear vehicle. Now that I see it, I'm like, oh my god, it is. It's Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, see it does. It looks like a lunar, like the buggy that the Neil Armstrong drove around.
Well,
What if we
that's
get an
not a
all
far
striper
cry.
in this color?
To be fair, if you look at some of the tourist ice crawlers or out there, some of them are
Oh yeah,
pretty kind of spacey looking, right? And
yeah.
that's just the way to insulate them in the environments that they're in and have all the luxury comforts that people are used to, right? I don't know.
Um,
I can see what you're saying
well,
though.
how roomy was the one that ran over Hawkeye?
Run over Hawkeye.
Jeremy Renner got run over by his own Snow Cat a couple years ago.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, when he was out clearing the roads for his neighbors and his own like snow cat, and it run over him. Like I know
Really?
you remember that. Yeah, it
No,
was.
man,
Yeah,
I clearly don't.
it almost killed him. It
That's,
almost killed
I
him.
mean, it wasn't Paul Walker. Like, I mean, like, it did not make the news
No,
up here that he got run over
no, it
by his
was.
own snowcat.
Yeah, it was somebody important.
Oh.
So that's what's missing. Where's the camp toilet? Where's the
I
5-gallon bucket with the seat?
Yeah, so we in like I don't know if the Americans have it, but we have a cardboard box with a hole, and in that we slip like this bag and rail system for toilets that we use in the
Yeah.
Arctic. And I said that one in the live. I was like, you could go overboard, including stuff that nobody's asked for, but they'd love, like a shitter. Like
Well,
yeah,
I imagine everybody was probably like this when they were little and watching these cartoons and even movies. But we all Pop Blunter and I always joked about it on the cartoons. It was like, how
hmm
come you never see anybody going to the bathroom or going
yeah,
in the bathroom? You know, like,
yeah.
I know why we didn't see it now as an adult, but as a kid, we always thought it was so funny that you never saw anybody go to take a piss.
Yep, nope.
Uh,
Like I said, I
let's
spent
see.
my first few years in the army walking around going, G.I. Joe never talked about this. Like filling out your personal information form 20 times a frigging year, right?
Yeah.
Like every detail of your life. Well, need you to fill out this form again. I just filled out 12 of those over the year. Okay. All right.
Just copy it and let me change the date. Uh,
Yeah. You can't
Todd,
photocopy this
yeah.
shit, can you?
How many times did he mention can't wait to see what the pictures look like? They're leaning too hard on what would look interesting in a photo.
Yeah.
But then again, I take toy pictures. Crow takes toy pictures. Most of you guys take toy pictures, even if you're, just to do it. Even if you're not posting them, like I, I see they're selling this one for us, so that's what
And
most of
that's
us are doing with it. But you're
And I love
right.
that. Was that Todd? That yeah, Todd. I love that you bring up that point because you're right. He was leaning hard into it, but it's also clear that they're acknowledging they are making toys for the adults and not hiding behind, well, we have to make it playable for kids, right? Kids don't worry about how photography goes. He was bringing that up.
Yeah,
He knew who he was
yeah,
talking to. So
yep. He definitely knew. And Dave's gonna make us all cardboard shitters now. So,
there you go.
and yes, the vehicle that they used in Armageddon, wherever that was, I had
Oh,
it
that lunar
highlighted.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that they drove around on the asteroid. So
Mhm.
got to look at Frostbite in here. I love this grin they got sculpted on him. Um, that's just a cool look. Got the ice blue LEDs in there, like he's in there like riding around listening to like Deep Purple or something, just
So
jamming. Got the heat on.
maybe somebody like Matt can back me up this. I see that, and for some reason, with his name Frostbite, I expect him to have frostier features, like maybe a bit of ice in his beard and things like this. But with that grin and in the Snowcat, I keep thinking to what is it? This was it The Shining? The Shining.
Yeah.
Where they
Oh
drove
yeah.
that
Yeah.
snowcat up to the cottage. I'm like, this is the alternative ending where Jack gets the crawler at the
Yeah.
end, right? Like that's what
Yeah.
I'm looking at.
Yeah. Jack gets away.
Yeah, she
Oh wait.
died. The kid died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, be damn proud to have you as my son, AJ. Stanley, I still cry watching Armageddon. Don't ever close your eyes.
That's because you're watching it on a VCR that you haven't been able to upgrade from for 28 years.
I'm right there with you, Stanley.
Yeah, I
Armageddon,
can't watch it again.
Armageddon, where he has to leave, he pushes Harry out of the elevator, and then at the end they got to have his funeral. So I know what you
Uh,
mean. I love
I
that kind
can't.
of movie.
I
Love it.
used to love it, and then I became immediately ashamed at how much I liked it in the past.
It just a popcorn action flick, man. I loved it, and I like
Yeah,
Deep Impact too. They come out like a month apart. I
yeah,
saw them both in
yeah.
the theater.
I like
I
it when
went to my
movies do that. They try to screw each other over by stealing the
yeah
same
yeah
idea.
yeah. At the same
Tornadoes, you
time,
say?
yeah,
Yeah.
me and my buddy Tommy went and saw them both, and you're like, "Didn't we just see this?" And I'm like, "No, I think this one's more serious." So
This time it
super
hits the other
serious.
side of the planet. Yeah.
Yeah, right. You
Yeah.
got the little window down on the side. Like I dig
Hey,
that.
there
They
you
got a
go.
lot of cool details
That's
in
who this
there.
is. This is Riley. I just noticed that. Put up Riley's
Oh
comment
yeah,
again. There you go. It's Riley Cross right here. What's up? I do hope they keep those lights blue, he said.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, they will, Riley.
So
That's the offset.
yeah, yeah, I think they will definitely keep that. They might change a bunch of stuff, but I think they'll definitely keep those lights blue.
They
I love
did.
the
They
yellow
did.
on that
Oh yeah, the yellow really pops on that outside, and I
fog
didn't think it
lights.
would. Yeah. So they did the red for the hiss, green for the dragonfly, blue for the Arctic cat. Like I think blue's a commitment.
What's the Rattler? I don't know because I don't have one. What
I don't
color's the
know.
Rattler?
I don't know. You're never
Uh,
gonna know.
uh, Pop Blender, text me tomorrow and tell me what color the lights in the Rattler are. Don't forget to get batteries on your way home from work.
Mhm.
Um, so let's see. There's our tracks articulating, which he was very careful not to break because it's not a finished model.
No.
You got your clevises on the front that are probably should. I'm sure they're going to articulate and swing. Um, what do you think about the track rotation? You happy with that? Where it's the suspension?
Yeah, it's got a tight track. It's functional. Like that center wheel, all three wheels move. I can't tell if the bottom roller wheels move, like the little two ones in the middle. But I watched them, and that was all working. The track's great, independently suspended. I would buy
Yeah.
that as a winter track. The thing I do have a problem with is those front tires, and it's just that if you're using a vehicle with a track rear, you're probably going to chain those tires in the front.
Well, I don't know. They look pretty. They look like snow tires to me.
Now they look like horseshit to me, but whatever. It's such a small thing, right? But no,
Well,
man, those tires, they're skating. Those are skating
maybe
tires.
maybe they'll change them. They got more detail to add.
I hope.
Stan, I
Yeah.
gotta keep going back to this. The Chick Chapel and Son scene, the son watching TV, the hug. That man's not a salesman. That's your daddy.
Oh, I didn't see that. So,
And does Armageddon.
hmm.
Whereas she won't
Oh
let him
yeah.
see his
Sorry,
son,
my
and he
head's
goes to.
somewhere else right now. Yeah.
So here's our exploded view. We got our missile rack that comes off and our missiles, blast
Mhm.
effects that I dig that port in the back so you can actually look like they're firing. Door back here open. I don't guess those articulate. I don't know why they would, but Um, be a lot cooler if they
So
did.
yeah, I like the blast effects only in that because I don't really care about the whole blast effect discussion. They're just necessary evils. But I like how they have the alternating lengths that you can do because that means you can kind of show these missiles firing in succession a little bit. Because you know some missiles
Yes.
you'll just fire one and then others you go right. And
Yep.
it'd be nice to show two of them at different distances with different blast effects. I think that's good.
Yeah, I do too. I like that they took the care to do that, just so you can do that very thing. You have them
Mm.
alternating launching.
Yeah.
Figure Fight Club's in the house. What's going on, man? How you doing? Good to see you in
So
here.
do I get to do my victory dance though on this? I'm because I'm going to do it now and get it out of the way. Since the very beginning, I said they had to do they make the rocket launcher removal and turn this thing into a troop carry, and they did it. This, what to me
Yep,
was the no brainer. If you didn't do this, you were going to fail. But
I
the
agree.
foot room, the foot room's going to be terrible.
You're gonna get like three, maybe four, but three, two on one side, one on the other side. You
So
might have enough room to stagger four sitting the same way in there.
So here's the
Maybe.
thing I'm gonna tell everybody like it's a conundrum because it's in the winter, everybody's cold, so they're probably gonna be huddled together in the back freezing. But that's not fun storytelling. You want your Joes active. You really aren't going to have that much of a problem because the way that you're going to want your Joes facing out with their rifles up, protecting the vehicle, you're only going to be
Yeah.
putting one foot in the center, and then you're going to be bending the other leg's knee
Yep. On the
against
knee.
that thing, right? So they're going to be kind of leaning outwards anyway. So it's not going to be as big as of a problem unless you're trying to cram them in all facing each other.
And have them
Yeah.
doing that, except bent down, aiming over the side. Except
Yeah.
probably won't be a
Yeah.
Viper in there. Well, there went the goggles and five figures when the goggles come off. Um,
Mhm. Lots of
all right,
goggles lying
so
around, right?
damn goggles. I was gonna leave them on this one, but man, fuck these
Mm.
things. I hate these goggles. Um, all right, let's talk about our ski missiles. You get our twin 9.0 liter engines, 18 liters of power. What is in a vehicle like what you drove? Like what
So
size engine was
we
something like that?
So I can't remember the name of the company that makes it. It's a German company that makes our Leopard tanks, but in our labs, it's Detroit Diesel in the lab, the Coyote, which I spent most of my time in, and the
Okay,
Lab 3, which is the predecessor to the Phalanx. The Phalanx is your Striker, right? Which is to
right.
us a LAV, light armored vehicle, and it's a Lab 6, if I remember right. I'm qualified the Lab 3. That is so we had Detroit Diesel in some of our labs, and then it's Caterpillar.
Okay.
Straight up cat engine. Yeah.
Big cat. Okay.
Big old
Yeah,
cat. Yeah.
yeah, they do a lot of the big heavy equipment diesels. I think that was in what was in the hats that my brother drove. I think they had the cats in them. So
Yeah.
I think
They're
they look
big bugs.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like them.
Little
Yeah. They're clean as
little bit
fuck,
of
but
yeah. This is a
yeah.
new snow cat.
Yeah.
This one is brand new. It's not even broken in yet. I tell you
Yeah.
what, I want to see somebody in the back of this thing with a mixing bowl and a box of Bisquick making up the
Turn it
biscuits
into
for
a mobile
breakfast.
kitchen.
There you go.
Joe
There's
Arctic food truck. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
You have to have
GI Joe
roadblock
food truck.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody said it
Roadblock's got to be
earlier.
in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our Arctic roadblock with a chef hat. Somebody had said
Yeah.
earlier. So that was I need a chef hat for roadblock no
I
matter
gotta.
what.
Can we zoom in on where that frost is meeting the windshield for a second? I wanted to see something. Yeah, okay. And just slowly roll it up just to I can see the outer frame of the window a bit. So here's the thing I don't like about this. I love that sticker so much. I think that was brilliant. The only
Yes.
thing is I think that's being stuck to the outside of the canopy. And I think
Yeah.
over time, It's either going to be a really good vinyl or I think it's a sticker that's going to show every time you move that wiper, you might be banging that sticker up. You know what I mean by when the sticker starts to slowly peel off a bit in bad spots or wear?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
Yep.
concern with that. I think that was brilliant, but I wish it was stickable to the inside of the canopy where nobody messes around with anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good thought, getting it on the inside where it looks like, if you move that wiper around, it's not gonna start hitting the
Yeah.
sides, rolling it
But
up. Yep, got lav seats.
I thought that was brilliant, though, that they thought of that frosted glass effect.
Yeah, and they got it on all of them. They even got it on the little one, down here,
Oh,
where
yeah.
the wiper's at, where the wiper motor's at. Yeah, I thought it's cool, man. They spared no expense. Spared no expense.
Maybe it
Um,
wasn't as expensive as we thought.
That's right. It was those stickers that pushed it over. It was going to be 300, but they had to give us frost stickers.
But they
This
are
side,
scratch and sniff. Yeah.
they smell like snow.
Yeah.
Where is it? I'm trying to find where the hell I just put this
They
theater
smell
heads.
like
There,
snowflakes. Yeah.
frosted flakes.
Yeah, just fucking crybaby snowflakes complaining about HasLabs. No, just kidding.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we're doing, folks. So another shot of the panel. We got a wrench that stores in here. I like that. Good place to keep the wrench to keep up with it.
Yeah, it
I
falls
like
right into
these.
the engine.
Yeah, right down
Just
in there
slam
and
that.
gets you shut it and it slams it into whatever that is, pokes a hole in it.
Yeah.
They're really gonna need that. Really gonna need that bivouac set then. I
Yeah.
like the ramp. I'm glad that they did that where you can load
Hmm.
some stuff, get your guys getting in or out of it. That'll be good for some photography. Um, you mentioned the rail, with the going all the way around for them to hold on to. And then we got these boxes that open up, and they did not mention that they open up and hold the bivouac set. So they went out of their way, he went out of his way to
Yeah.
mention they can hold shit but not the bivouac set. Purple Elf says
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
them decals get pricey.
She likes that word deckled, eh? You like
She
deckled?
I'm gonna hear that all weekend.
No, but
uh,
here's the other thing, right? Um, One of the things I hope is that they really aren't done with that. I do hope that they're reworking that little middle piece because you said there was more detailing to do.
yeah.
Because it would be nice if you could store the bivouac in there or have some function and whatnot. But one of the things I was thinking about is wouldn't it be nice to get a stretcher in there, sturdy and solid at some
Oh
point?
yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, and we've got the cot that's coming with the bivouac. So I guess
Yeah.
that could double as one. They mentioned they based it on Doc's stretcher. So Um, perhaps you could use that, but that would be awesome. I think that might be one of the things that they come back and say that when they went back to work on it and retooled it is that maybe that will fit in there. That's my hopes. The whole thing looks great, but all we're seeing stickers on everything, tampos,
Uh-huh.
whatever. Like there's not a lot of sculpted in stuff on the sides, right? No rivets, no
No.
panels put
Yeah.
together. So I hope when we see the finished product, like that's why I said it looks like a lunar rover. It's so smooth. Like there's no bolts. You look at the vamp or of course the hiss with the armor plates, but all of those little details in that stuff really make it pop. So I hope some more stuff like that is sculpted in, when we
Yeah.
get it. Now I might be judging it too harshly early. Um,
Well, I think Punk made a good point on this, but I had the counterpoint, and it was things we might look forward to. Maybe a coaxial weapon, like an ACAC weapon, like something for the crew to
mhm.
manipulate in the back, like a small machine gun, just for a
Yeah.
play factor, something you can take in and out. Little things like that, gun racks, maybe some areas to hold some bags on the side. There's stuff you can do to it. The reason I say maybe you don't need to have the machine gun on this is because it is an Arctic vehicle, and cold metal is something that's really not a lot of fun to work with in the Arctic. I don't think you want a guy up on a machine gun for prolonged periods, anyways. But
Yeah.
it's something you could add to this. But
What
you're right. I don't think they're done with the details on the sides.
what does the cold, like where this would theoretically operate, what would that do to a machine gun? Like,
Well,
because the metal's going to be brittle. Is it gonna warp it heating up that fast?
Uh, I never have a whole lot of experience with it because I didn't do a whole lot of Arctic time. Like we were just told constantly, oil maintenance, take your guns apart, keep them clean and things like that, and keep them dry. You didn't want ice in there. That was the moisture and the cold weren't good for it, right?
Right.
But ammo, keep it in cool, dry, clean places, things like this, and you're subjecting your ammo to sideways snow and sleet. You're going to be constantly cleaning out that gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so I missed that in the stream. Stanley and Woody say that
I
they are going to go back and add that detail.
I
I've
was
only
sure
been
I
able to
thought I
listen
heard him
to
say
it.
that. Mhm.
I've only been able to listen to it back through it like one other time since it. So there's probably some stuff they said that I did miss. So, uh, yeah, I don't think he said that the bars of the I think he mentioned the bivouac, but he didn't say the whole thing. Maybe he did say the sidebars,
It
but not the whole thing. I don't know why you'd make it where you could only put part of it in there.
Yeah, and maybe that's something that might be coming attached is little bar clips to clip these things in on the side, right?
Yeah,
Like that's
that's
what we
true.
do with cam poles and things like that. That all gets side stowage, right? So we'll see. Those boxes
Um,
on the side that are holding the torpedoes will take up a lot of space, though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you're not going to be able to put other stuff in there with them. Like you probably throw a couple spare guns in there or something, but
No.
not anything big. So let's we still got a couple things we got to get to. So let's go through look at these real quick. So here's Frostbite. Uh, he looks
Mm.
good. I think he does need. I hope they hit him with some, like you said, put some frost in his beard, maybe on the top of his jacket, on his hat there. I love that he's got the trapper style kind of hat. And I
I
like they
have one of
gave them
those too.
all. Yeah, I got one. I love it. Thing's warm.
Yeah, they're warm.
Um, I like that they gave them the head sculpt with the beanies, with the stocking cap and the headset. I think that's great.
Yeah, I'll that and the Lady J one. I can't remember if Flint
Yes.
did Flint get the beanie as well? I think he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got
I'll
one
tell
too.
you. So what really gets me excited is when I see a second head with a potential to accomplish something completely different. And if you
Yeah.
look at all of these heads, the Toque system that they're using, the headset system, works for this Arctic figure just as well as it would for a desert figure, which is the other direction Classified is going with the Awe Striker and Sergeant Slaughter and Mercer. So these heads work for desert troops just as well as they would work for Arctic troops because of those. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. You can
Yeah.
take them out and put them in a completely different environment. Um,
Hmm.
so I dig that. I like that they're going with all the coffee. I know people are making fun of it and
Yeah.
whatever. Look, I'm a huge coffee connoisseur, and if anybody is going to have a thermos full of coffee, it's going to be the guys in the Arctic set. So they even make
100%.
the cap for the cup screw off for him. I love it. Um, and then yep, Stanley blue collar Stanley thermos. So there's
Yeah.
Frostbite. I love that they were faithful to his weapon because it's one of the best ones in all of the Real American Hero line.
They aren't
Um,
though. That's just it. They didn't. That's why I sent you those pictures. This is my my stupid little tactical thing that I do. That is a great looking M16, isn't it? It's great.
it looks fine.
That scope is F and A. I love that scope. The rifle is great. Am I making it clear that I like the rifle?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, but Frostbite had a different sight on his rifle. It was a much larger sight. It's called a kite sight, and it's
Oh
a
yeah, yeah,
large
yeah.
NVG. Yeah, that thing was. modeled after a very specific need. It's that broad spectrum, watching the Arctic through thermal. That is the how
Right.
you guard the Arctic. So that kite sight was really relevant. If this is just a simple little upgraded hunting rifle scope, it's not the same thing. That was my only
Fair enough.
disappointment. I love that rifle, but to me, that kite sight was a very key, almost character piece for him, because it was him defending the Arctic with that night vision gear.
That's fair enough. I would, if that's the case, because it was a different type optic on it. I mean, it was a big scope, we called it then, but yeah, it
Yeah,
was a different type. I like that they kept the
yeah,
size of it, but if that is a detail that should have been updated because of that, because of the thermal, then yeah, I wish they'd have kept it. But I think it looks
yeah.
great. But that
I'm
was relevant to the character.
I'm I'm probably the only guy that would really give a crap about that, and that's why I'm saying I love that rifle. But it bothered me because I knew what that sight
Right.
was, and I was like, "God damn it!" That's all. God
Right.
damn it.
And yeah, and Riley says back then, yeah, it was just a cheesy oversized scope, or it wasn't just a cheesy oversized scope. It was pretty accurate for what he was. But back
No,
then, for us, it was just he had a big ass scope on it. So
yeah, it
Shark
was.
says, "You're not the only one."
Okay,
So
so
here's
other
Lady J.
military guys got it. That's good. That's all. I understand. Shark Eyes and Riley both are, I think, understood. Thank
So
you.
we got Lady J here. There's her second with her beanie and her
Uh-huh.
headset. So she looks great.
She looks
This is a
sassy.
great looking figure,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, she's hot. She's got that kind of Lori Petty and Point Break vibe going. So with the head sculpt. So I like they give her the different javelins. So one thing I was really hoping with her different javelins was one of these would have the diamond from Revenge of Cobra, where she's got to cut them out of the
Oh,
ice. I was really hoping one of these would, like this one, would be painted to look like
well,
a diamond with faucets.
this is just a render, though. Remember, they haven't done the paint,
It is.
so it could still be.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's something that they add, but I would have liked to seen it here. Maybe they will add it. Of course, she comes with her fishing pole and her ice auger. I like that if they're gonna do the world building thing and they're gonna give all these accessories, they went the full Monty with it. You got the auger to make the hole to do the ice fishing. You got the fishing pole with a couple of different ends on it that you can swap. I like that they went all in with it if they're going to do it. So I got no complaints about the way that they're doing it. It's what they did, but not the way they did it. No, no, I lost your sound. Are you muted?
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. That
Yep.
was it. I
Yep.
turned my
There you are. There
mute
you
off.
are.
Yeah. I like that they didn't try and rehash the old kit with new colors and maybe one or two little things. They just went at it all new,
Yeah.
like all new
Same.
javelins, things like that. I agree. The diamond thing, it seems to me like that's very possible. They could do that. I like the holder. The coffee cups. So Marvel Legends does this exact same thing when they throw in little comic books in with the latest wave, and you can get all their, your Marvel Legend Banshee with giant size X-Men #1, and then Spider-Man with Spider-Man #1 and whatnot. These little comics. Joe's doing the same thing. This is simple plastic reuse that I can use across the line. I just keep changing the name and the paint, right? And it's a beautiful
Yeah.
little ad. Everybody is complimenting this. That's a great idea, right? How much does
Yeah.
that cost to make? I just don't need the name on the cup. It's cute, but you telling me they're walking around with white markers going, okay, make sure you label your coffee cup, Joe's, or we're gonna have some confusion today. It's just no.
Mm. Well,
Nobody does that.
every family reunion I go to, we got to do that on the Dixie cups.
Yeah, but I mean, this to me feels like Joe's is just rolling right through Starbucks every morning, right?
I think they're like, I don't think they're disposable cups. I think they're personalized in my head. That's her
Maybe.
cup and she puts coffee in it every day. So she takes that one with her.
Maybe to me
But
it
the other
looked
ones
very
say,
disposable. That's a good point.
Well, but I mean, there are like reusable coffee cups that are made to look like disposable cups.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that.
Starbucks has them. Um,
Hmm.
so I've got one
Where did that
in the
go?
cabinet in there. But the other ones say Joe. Like Flint's, I don't think says Flint. It says the other ones say Joe.
What
So
what did sorry, what's the guy that's coming with the
crankcase
Allstriker? Yeah, what did his cup say? Did it say Joe as well?
Joe,
Okay.
which is perfect because it's coffee or whatever.
A cup of Joe?
Yeah, cup of Joe. So
Hmm.
um, here's the bivouac. Everything it comes with. Somebody had said zoom in on what was it the center pole on this pole
Yeah, those
or
don't collapse or do anything. Like there's no telescoping with this.
yeah you can get those in there probably depending on how this breaks down. But yeah,
Uh
he didn't mention them being collapsible. These are all probably
no.
snapped together up here and here. So we'll
I'm
see.
looking, I'm counting one, two, three, four. It looks like a four-piece system. I think those sides are each an individual piece, and then you have two thin poles that you connect them with. I don't think that's going to fit in the back.
No.
Broken down. Doesn't look
Um,
that way, anyways.
so we got our radio, we got our machete, we got a fire, we got the fish that they speared through the middle, axe
Yeah,
shovel.
everything fits
Um,
on those forks, right?
yeah, yeah.
I thought,
Um, what was that piece? What was that?
is that their radio or is that the grill? I
That's the
think that's
grill. Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
So I think
okay.
that's their radio.
That's the
Yeah.
radio there, and then that's the camp stove there that fits on the
Uh-huh.
Snow Cat. Okay, so this looks cool. I like the fire. I would have liked to be able to put like a little button battery in this and the flame light up.
That's yeah. That was coming up in the chat a lot the other day. I
Um,
agree.
I think that would have been a neat. I mean, it would be okay if they don't, but I think that would have been a cool detail. So Stanley says tool holder. Woody says gun rack.
Oh, maybe it
Um,
was the gun rack. Yes, that's a good point. They did have a gun rack that came with this. I thought they
okay,
had a
that
comm set that was with it too because they had a weapon system. Maybe.
isn't that isn't that what this is? Is that the
Oh,
like
there it
right
is.
here?
Yeah, okay. So, but then they had the hot plate. Where's the hot plate? There. Oh, up by the fish. Okay, never mind. I
Yeah,
just didn't realize how blown up the picture was or wasn't at the time we were looking at it. There you go.
yeah. So there's
Now I
that's
know
the
what everything
stove.
is.
Yeah, stove,
Yeah.
weapon rack, radio, fire, fish, and then you do have the little. I like the little collapsible rocket launcher with it, and there's our
Mhm.
cot.
I love that
Seems like
cot. It's pre-assembled. Those cots are a pain in the ass to get together in real life. So I'm glad to see it made it nice and simple.
so. Let's see. Look at the chat here, and Lenny says the canopy can fold up and fit in the storage compartment. So, but
Yeah, well,
not anything else. Well, it's fabric, so
yeah. I mean, I can do that with the Kleenex too. It's
yeah.
you
So
know, that's not the challenge we were looking at.
right. So
Yeah.
Woody Puff Puff Pass. Never mind, it's right there. Like the stove comes with flint. Never mind, it's right there. So there's our bivouac station, and then let's look at Flint, who's the last tier. Do you think that was right doing Flint as the last tier, or should the bivouac been the last tier? What do you guys think? What do you
Um,
think, bro? His does say Flint.
it does. It does say. I don't. I don't know because I understood the argument when I heard. I think it was Punk that was having that same discussion the other night about the calculations of why it was the second tier and not the third. My thing is I don't give a fuck what order the tiers are in because I'm waiting on all HasLabs to hit all tiers. I'm not waiting on it to hit only the first tier and then accepting what comes after. I have never dealt with that. I don't know if I'm actually prepared for a HasLab that doesn't hit all the tiers. Do you know what I mean?
I
So
don't
I
think
don't
we'll have to worry
care.
about it with Joe.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a tier that's driving you to buy this, then I'm like, yeah, then you really are on the fence. If it's just the one tier that prevents you, you are
Yeah,
so on the fence. Don't do it. You
I
know?
agree. I agree. I don't know. I agree with you, but at the same time, I think I think the bivouac should have been the last thing to unlock. But everybody likes Flint, so I
So
can see it. Don't really make much difference one way or the other, I guess.
maybe it's last year just left such a scar on them, right? Because they went, okay, guys, here's your tier unlocks. You're gonna get Wild Weasel with the pilot, but you're gonna get Baroness, and everybody's like, ooh, ah. Then you're gonna get the Gunner, ooh, ah. And then you're gonna get these patches as our third tier, and everybody, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Right?
like
So
what?
maybe you get your WTFs out of the way on the second tier and hope that they react strong on the third tier so you finish strong with the intro. It's the only way I see any advantage to it, but that's it.
Yeah, no. So there's Flint. There's all our tiers. We kind of gone through it.
Love that perk
I'm
coffee
digging.
maker.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. Got the coffee maker in there. Got his
Mm.
shotgun in XMLR in the gray. So it looks good. We'll see. When they
Mm.
get more detail sculpted into it. So
I like,
and
did you
then
notice the eggs? Like blow up those
yeah,
eggs. Like they're not, they didn't cheap out on the egg detail, right? They are crispy on the edges.
yeah, they are what fried eggs definitely should be.
Yeah,
That's
it's not
how
just
that's
a
how I
white
make
blotch.
that's how I make
Like,
mine. Except I have to bust the yolk. I don't understand how people eat that runny.
sure, but I just look at the trim of that. That's got that skillet
Oh yes,
blackening going on, right? Like I was like, that's good. Like that's
I plan
easy to miss.
I plan to be making some eggs that look like that Saturday morning. Honestly, so
So everybody
nice
talk.
Lodge frying pan.
Do you want to just quickly throw me on the full for a sec? We talked about that fire set. This cost me $12 at Michael's. It's a very doable little thing, guys. So just
Oh man,
saying.
nice.
Uh, It's just a single little watch battery inside, and that's exactly what Hasbro could have done with this. I just don't know if they did. It's cheap though. Okay, I may dismiss. I missed go.
Hang on, I'm typing. I'm typing. Just hold your water. All
You're
right.
using words and vocab. Bullshit.
So Viper Scout Runny's great. Soak it with toast. No, it's absolutely nasty. Yeah, somebody ain't eating. I noticed that too. Two fish, two sausages, two eggs, three figures. Somebody ain't eating.
Right? And that's what I said at the beginning of this. I'm like, poor Frostbite. He's like the third wheel in his own vehicle. Right? It's like, thanks, guys. I was here too. No one's gonna feed me. I'm just the driver, right? Please don't do
They
that in the back.
yeah,
You know?
he should at least come with a sack lunch or something for up there in the front. So, uh,
It's
Dave
either that
says
or we've been seeing Lady J all wrong, man.
Dave says I was kind of digging Max Crow Room. You're
Max
pixelated
Crower.
again. Yeah,
Oh
you're a
shit.
little grainy again. It's all right.
Son of a
It's all right.
bitch.
So,
No, that's all right.
and
I can just go
then
outside and smoke. Look how clear I am
all right.
now, you sons of bitches.
Well, now's the part where we need to be seeing our faces because we gotta talk about what we thought and what we wanted were going to come with this. We can do this
Oh,
pretty
okay,
quickly, I
yeah.
think.
I,
Punk with Toys is in the house. What's going on, Lawrence? How you doing, my man?
oh,
And Jamie Gillentine is in the house, and I hated that I missed seeing you at Joe Fest. My cousin told me you were there, and I was looking for you, and I never did connect with you. So sorry I didn't get to see you down there, man.
I agree with
Um,
his comment though. That was one thing I would have liked to have seen put in there was some sort of Arctic sleeping bag. Just because they did the itty bitty ditty bag for Sergeant Slaughter, I was like, give us an Arctic sleeping bag.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
I mean, they put enough. They put enough in it. They could have done that. They're already doing soft goods with it, So I
yeah.
kind of thought that too. Like sleep. Maybe they're all cramming into the cockpit and just cranking
Well,
the heat up.
that's the thing when you get all these luxury accessories like frying pans and coffee percolators, you start thinking, well, everything under the kitchen sink belongs with this set now too, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
So
destroyed everything.
I'll tell you guys, if you have not already thought this far ahead, because the first thing I thought when I saw this and I saw all of the little camping stuff and all the shit that comes with it, it is time to go hit up Five Below and start stocking up on the teeny tiny stuff. The grill set, you
Mm.
know, the pastry cart, the movie cart with that comes with cups. But that grill set, you can take that grill set and add with this, with like the steaks and the ketchup and the mustard. It will be perfect to go with this set.
Oh, no
So
doubt.
because it's all scale. It's some of the stuff is just a little big or a little small, but most of it fits perfectly. So Dave says I'm trying to figure out how to attach a barbecue grill to the back. So what I'm going to do is, I'm I'm down here in redneck land. I'm going to fix something up like a ratchet strap and just ratchet strap that grill to the back of the Snow Cat. So yeah, dude, I can hook it up. And Jamie says I've looked for that grill set at Five Below several times. I let me know, because the one that I go in still has it. They're still around. They're hit or miss as to which Five Belows have them. So I can snag one for you if you need. So who did you want to come with this? Or no, let's start with, what did you think the tiers for this would have been that they would have put with this?
Well, I thought for sure we were going to go back to four figures. I just assumed we were because I felt like the feedback from the Rattler kind of course corrected that. But I was wrong, and I'm okay with being wrong. What they did was fine. But Lady J, I definitely was saying she's coming. Because I think you and I talked about that a couple of times before, and I was like, Lady J,
Yeah.
I'm feeling it, right? But I did expect, like you mentioned, I mentioned Blizzard or somebody, like another snowborn natural release Joe, because the way I saw this whole winter themed Joe is it's a very small window of characters. And I thought, get them all out of the way, because I don't know if you want to continue them down the line. And they didn't. So that was all I was expecting. I was expecting more naturally Arctic themes, not characters rebranded as Arctic. But I did expect the Lady J.
So I thought that they were going to do some sort of an Arctic assault type set. I was trying to give it a name, but I just say Arctic Assault, some like Night Force or Tiger Force, Arctic Force, whatever. I thought they were going to maybe do a separate, like a theme like that, and so I wrote down Iceberg, which they're not going to lock Iceberg behind a paywall. But if they do Iceberg in something that is not his regular outfit, like,
Mhm.
like Tiger Force, we got Bazooka, we got Duke, Rakondo, like something like that, but do Iceberg in that, and that we're going to be getting at least a retro Iceberg later. I thought they would do so. I've got Iceberg, I've got Wind Chill, because he was also a driver. He drove the Arctic Blast, and
Uh-huh.
of course Frostbite. And then I thought they would do another redeco in our Arctic Assault camo for Snow Job, or they would do Blizzard. Same, all these characters that everybody wants. They're not gonna lock them all behind a paywall and not do them later like everybody wants. So that was what I thought they might do. The other
Mhm.
thing that I thought that I called, you did your victory dance for turning it into like an APC. I'm going to do mine for saying the other way they could go is give us any one of those guys that I just mentioned, any Arctic guy in a different outfit, and they would give us 2 characters that we already had in snow gear, like Duke or Snake Eyes, and thank God it was not them. Or my top ones were Flynn and Lady J in Arctic gear. So that's what I thought would come with it. And what did you want to come with it? What were you hoping? Like personally, like if you could pick it, what would you want?
I don't think I had a strong want. I just wanted it to be. I wanted it to all make sense, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you look back after something surprises you, and you're like, well, that's really all it could have been. Like, those characters all made sense. And that's all
Yeah,
I was looking for. So, I mean, I kind of got that in this. Like, the Lady J made sense. Flint only makes sense because he's with Lady J, and they have that, you know, thing. And Frostbite made sense. The Bivouac also makes sense. It's just not at all what I was expecting, right? So in
yeah,
hindsight, I still get that satisfaction. So I'm good with this HasLab. I am, right? But if I were to pick one that I would be like, man, I wouldn't have called that. It would have been Flint.
yeah. I figured Lady J and Flint together. I don't think with something like this you would have got them separated. Todd says could have been Whiteout as a repainted snow job. Nobody would have cried about that being locked up. No, they wouldn't. And
Yeah.
Whiteout's snow job's twin brother that he killed.
You know what?
Perhaps.
I'm going to change. I'm going to pivot for a second because it occurs to me what I think really would have been the peak character that they could have gotten away with. God damn it. Give us an Arctic lifeline.
That would have been a good pick.
That would have looked
That
amazing with it.
Yeah, that would have been an awesome pick with Lifeline in an Arctic camo, and then do him later in a more traditional or even just a retro. That would have been a perfect guess.
And you still have his Tiger Force out there ready for down the line, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that would have been perfect. I'm just reading through. No, Quinn. I know everybody was saying Quinn. I don't know if we'll ever get Quinn, but if we do, he'll be a deluxe figure. Quinn is a Marvel Comics character, and they hate the Marvel Comics, or there's some kind of licensing issue that they can't use a lot of comic characters because they have not dipped into Marvel Comics hardly at all. They've dipped into Devil's Due. They're doing the same designs in Energon. They're not doing much in the Marvel comics. So some of those characters that we really want are dream characters: Quinn, Dr. Venom, Scarface, some of the tertiary characters, Candy Apple, White Clown, shit like that. I don't know if we'll ever see it, but I would love a Quinn. Zero expectations. Just kind of read through the comments down here. Yeah, they definitely need to do another run on Snow Job. Matter of fact, I know where there's a. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I know where there's a loose complete one for $50, and I thought that seemed like really high. That's actually a pretty good deal for a loose complete Snow Job right now.
Yeah, and he came off Pulse about it a year ago, right? They had him in Tripwire. Now it's just Tripwire, but he is due for a retro treatment. I think this is the right time to do him. Now that you've got people knowing what the HasLab is,
Yeah. Kamakura was a comics-based figure. He's Devil's Due, though. And they've done some Devil's Due stuff. That's why I'm hoping we see Zanya. Zanya was a Devil's Due character. Josh Blaylock created them. They were released in Retaliation, but how long's that been? All right, so you need to hit the banyo or anything before we get into our last little bit.
We're running stay on the late, mic, but I'm going to quickly give the cats the treats they've been waiting on, but I'm going to stay on the mic. I'm still here.
Okay. All righty. Yeah, Chaz says maybe they'll re-release Snow Job with the Polar Battle Bear. That would be awesome. That'd be a good way to do it. They re-release him.
Yeah.
because people are talking about like a retro snow job. I don't know.
So,
Other than a repaint, I don't know what more you could really do.
but here's the thing though, wouldn't it aggravate you that Snow Job was a deluxe set? Like he was a deluxe because of all the kit he came with. Then he
Yeah,
became unavailable. And then when I make him available again to you, he's at another high price point. Right? Wouldn't it just be more comfortable to just have him available at the lowest available price point? But with the Polar Battle Bear, you could shake off some of that kit, like the big backpack and the skis, and trade that off. Right. So I see the
and I,
arguments there.
and I think most everybody wants the battle bear, so I think they might be able to get
Yeah.
away if they did something like that without too much griping, because a lot of people really want that battle bear.
Yeah, I do. Hell yeah. That's
Oh,
like a ram. Right.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you got to have it if it's out there. You got to have it.
I know.
And Jamie says, I believe they're trying to do a Revenge of Cobra tie-in like they did with Mass Device. I hope, because Revenge of Cobra is
But
top tier for
if we
me.
were to, sorry, I keep cutting you off. I had
That's
my
all right.
way. Yeah. No, but that brings us back to that live stream. Cobra Commander gave you another hint of the next big thing. Weather Dominator.
Yeah.
They hinted
Yep.
right at it.
Yep. Mentioned it directly.
Yeah. All right. So we have to get through the rest of Mass Device. Then I'm pretty sure we're going to go through the Weather Dominator. Then maybe we'll get to the next big thing, right? So,
Which would be Pyramid of Darkness, right? Then, yep. So I don't need a Pyramid of Darkness.
Dragonfire
Darkness,
Temple.
Charlie
Yeah.
Murphy. Pyramid of Darkness, Charlie Murphy.
Never should have given you Joe's money.
Yeah. Fuck your Snow Cat.
Keep it clean.
Shit.
Keep it clean.
Yeah. Nah, it's late. I'd be down for Honolulu West. No roadblock would be. All right. So our next final closing bit that we're gonna do here is we've picked some Joes and some Cobras that are definitely going to need some cold weather training before they can join this mission and be chilling in the back of the Snow Cat in the APC part. Just some characters that would seem extremely out of place in Arctic environments, and it's not really above GI Joe to do it. I mean, they turned around and made the Battle Cat into a jungle vehicle, and then had Rakondo driving the Tiger Fly, so not out of the realm of possibility. Do you want to go first with this part, Crow, or do you want me to?
I don't care
first?
whatever order you do. I think I always go first. Why don't you go first? I think I always
Okay.
end up going first.
I can do that. So,
Uh-huh.
and I opened the wrong folder and got it
Son of
ready.
a
So, all
bitch.
right. Yeah, I thought I had it all. Thought I had it all ready to go over here, and I realized I opened the wrong damn folder. All right,
I was
so
gonna say loaded questions, eh? Do you want to go
that's
first?
right.
Because I got the folder.
Yeah. So you said two of yours got to go together, right? Two of your Joes and
Yeah.
Cobras. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't remember which two they were. I just know that you had to
I
do them
know.
together.
Yeah.
So I was going to try to open both tabs. Anyway, we'll figure it out. All right. So my first Joe that is definitely going to need some damn cold weather training before they send him way up north by Crow is Rock and Roll. Rock and Roll is, as we know, from Malibu, California. He's a surfer. He's a heavy machine gunner. We talked about the effects of machine guns in the snow. Crow spoke on. So he's going to be basically back there in the back, freezing his ass off and trying to keep all the moisture out of that M60. Or whatever modern update a Rock and Roll may have, maybe twin Gatling guns, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So he's a Joe, like he can handle it. He can handle the grueling task, but he might be a little bit out of place up there in cold weather. Oh, just spend your life on a surfboard, you're probably not going to be able to transition immediately to a snowboard. So in my next Joe, we'll do I'll do my Joes and then
Sure.
we'll do your Joes and your Cobra. Yeah. So we'll do it that way. So my next one that I've got, Joe, that is definitely going to need some more Arctic cold weather training is my boy over here, Blowtorch. Poor Blowtorch. There he is right there, just dreading getting on the back of that Snow Cat because Blowtorch, as we know, is from Tampa, Florida, and don't get a lot of snow down in Tampa, Florida. So poor Timothy Harahan is probably going to be freezing his ass off. Although he's got this fireproof suit, do you think it's insulated for snow?
I think he's gonna probably freeze to death inside his insulation. I don't know. I never thought about the effects of a guy in a flame retardant suit and what the environment would do. I don't know if it works out for him. I don't know.
At least for a little while, he's going to have the ability to stay warm. He's going, if he can find something to burn, maybe they can burn the bivouac. I don't know.
He's probably going to fall into the same problem as a couple of guys I'm mentioning later in mine. So I'll mention that point at the same time. Yeah.
HASLAB Space Station with upside down dreadnoughts, Triple D. That man, we could finally get Fatal Fluffies in Classified.
If they start making this line upside down, I'm gonna be out. That's it. Too many rebuys. Upside down Flint. What?
Hit the gravity switch. Torch has the whistle. Johnny says he's got a flamethrower. He doesn't need cold weather gear. He can set shit on fire, but he's got a finite amount of fuel in that thing and probably a finite amount of stuff that he can burn. So
we're not trying to kill the cold. We're trying to survive prolonged cold.
That's right. The short blasts, I guess. So he can just turn the pilot on and just do that over the pilot. All right, so moving on. My next one is another one that's this poor guy's not going to make it very long at all in the cold. Muskrat.
Oh God, no.
This sumbitch is going to freeze to death. He's going to be moving like molasses. Yeah. Oh yeah. Jamie, I know Iceberg. Yeah, he grew up in Texas and he hates the heat. That's me. I should become an Arctic soldier. But
oh God, you don't want that, bro.
I'd do much better than a jungle soldier. I can tell you that. From Thibodaux, Louisiana, down there by Loki Wartooth, perhaps. And Dave down there in that area. So take Dave and throw him into an Arctic environment, and that's what you're going to get with Muskrat. Look at this dude. Like, he ain't even got sleeves. He got a boogie board and no sleeves and a boonie hat. Some bitch is freezing to death up there in the cold weather.
He'll be great for kids looking for a toboggan ride down the hill. He can use that boogie board with them, but that's about it. It's a slip and slide, crazy carpet for
Absolutely. Yeah, he's not. He ain't. He's. And poor Blowtorch. Blowtorch is going to wind up looking like Randy in A Christmas Story. They can't move my arms.
All right. Well, we had completely different criteria for why we picked our Joes for this. You went with geography and clothing, and that made perfect sense. Now I'm kind of going, I hope my guys' file cards don't say anything that contradict this.
Yeah, down here in the dirty South, that is right. So Sub-Zero hates the cold and makes it mean.
Even Snow Job does not like the cold. It's been written. So
oh yeah,
he's from Wyoming, right? So
Roadblock can't handle the cold, but he can handle the ghettos and pimps of Biloxi, Mississippi. Say it like Biloxi, Mississippi. That I can assure you. All right, you ready for your first joke?
Yep. Can't handle the cold, but can handle the cold-hearted, right, Pop?
That's right. Cue up Otis for him. All right. Crow's first Joe is
Bazooka. Same reasons as Muskrat, but this guy clearly has like this non-conformist attitude about him, right? Like you can, it was cute for the first couple of years in combat fighting Cobra, through the city and at the base and at the pit and everything. But if you're going to the Arctic and you're not willing to cover up that football jersey, you're gonna die. And that's why I think Bazooka is going to die. He's from Minnesota, so it's not like he doesn't know better. He knows better, right? So we have to break this guy's attitude. It's bad enough he doesn't wear a uniform, right? He's wearing a mixed dress, but that was my concern with him.
And I feel like Bazooka may be too dumb to know to put on some layers, even though he's
Yeah,
from
we would
Minnesota.
we would be calling him a bit of a thud. We would probably have to retrain him. He's probably been the bottom of third of all Arctic survival classes to begin with. So extra training for a guy like that can't hurt, right?
Absolutely. Ready for Joe number 2?
Yeah, we're sailing through it. The other one makes more sense. I don't give a rat's ass if that's how he first appeared, all barefoot on the ice. This guy would die on the ice. So definitely, if he's going to be sent in winter training, especially as we've already seen him make the mistake of walking out on the ice barefoot. And I'm sure there was a lot of medical resources diverted to him afterwards and physiotherapy and all this other stuff to get his feet back in order. You got to retrain this guy and say, all right, you're going to get another shot at the Arctic. Here's some shoes. Here's a coat. That's all.
And he needs to have some kind of survival guide for leopard seals.
Well, again, I mean, I'm trying not to sound judgmental for this, but I also noticed, like your point, LA. He's from LA,
Yeah,
right?
he's
Like,
an actor from LA.
you think you know it all in LA, do you? All right, put on some shoes.
Does this guy in any way look like Travis Moody? Both actors from LA.
I
No,
can't do
he
that to
doesn't.
either of them, right? I couldn't blow sunshine up Travis's ass, nor could I insult him because that's a terrible picture of Quick Kick to me.
That is a really awful picture of Quick Kick there. So Delta 17's in the house. What's up, Steve? How you doing, man?
Hey, maybe Club a Seal.
Um,
There you go. Yeah.
yeah. Never seen a pimp or a hoe in Biloxi. That's because Roadblock is cruising, taking care of them. All right, so next, Joe for Crow, and we'll roll into your Cobras because I do remember and I have them together. So I've got both of those guys together. I like them both about the same from Punk for Quick Kick. No, Moody's not Asian. I just made that correlation because they're both in LA and both in movies, kind of.
So would you call him Quick Moody or Travis Kick?
I like Travis Kick.
I
That
liked
sounds like
Quick
a movie
Moody.
name. Travis Kick sounds
All
like a
right.
movie name. All right, so your next Joe that needs cold weather training is
See, I
this
thought
guy.
I had said okay. So this is the guy that goes with the others, right? Again,
Yeah, and
this.
he's next.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So this one it goes under the Chicago's seen snow. I'm not worried. He knows what snow is, and but he's lugging around this huge honking weapon system everywhere he goes. And he's going to overheat it all the time. So I put him in the same thing as the Saw Viper. These guys lugging around the heavy weapons, they need the extra training to take care of the weapons in the snow. They also need to have more than enough gear to strip down as they overheat because they are going to waste so much energy trying to walk around with this stuff in the snow. They're constantly going to be slowing their section down. So they need to be hydrated more than most people. They need to be, de-kitting. They need breaks, all this stuff. It's the same for the Saw Viper, but there's other ramifications. Uh, keeping that tech site defrosted all the time, electronics glitching in sub-zero temperatures, and you got to pull out a wire set to fix the glitches. Just these guys are gonna have a hell of a time in the Arctic. That's all.
And also no sleeves.
Yeah, that's a gimme. Like I'm saying, you gotta put a lot on so you can take it off later because you are going to be sweating your balls off no matter what. Eventually
And
he'll end up like that. But you don't start like that. You end up like that in the Arctic.
maybe maybe his face is frozen in this position in the Arctic snow. Am I the only one looking at this that's thinking, Adrian, we
Nah.
did it? He looks a little like Stallone in that picture. So, all right, we'll go ahead and go into your Cobras because your next guy goes with this guy, and that's this guy.
Yeah, so Saw Viper is even more the same. At least he's kind of bundled up and warm, but he's gonna have to strip down as he sweats his balls off in that big ass ammo tooting sci-fi gun thing. And that sci-fi gun is going to die in the Arctic. Like one thing, and then he's just a useless tool. He's just lugging around useless kid at that point. That's all I
He's
think about him.
lugging around his squad or his semi-automatic weapon, not his squad automatic weapon. So he's going to start off looking like this, and then
Yeah, and
he's going to go to this.
Yeah, and all the while you got to remember, really, he's the section support weapon, so they need him to keep pace with everybody, right? So he's going to be bringing the whole team. Guys, just hang on, I got to take off my neck gaiter. Half hour later, guys, it's still hot. Go take my vest off. Half hour later, two guys are carrying his backpack. Guys, my boots are really heavy, right? So
Why are there so
that's what it'd be
many?
like.
Why are there so many clasps on this thing?
Yeah. And then his morale drops. This was fucking bullshit, guys. Remember
Yeah,
when I killed those Joes? I could do it
I should
again if
have.
it wasn't so cold.
I know I should have been a jungle viper. This is sucks some ass, man. All right.
Yeah.
So, Crow's Cobra number 2 is Raptor.
He can't adapt with his climate. All right. Birds and rabbits, their fur will change color when the snow comes. Raptor will not. He will remain this terrible bird. And they have plumage on their chest, which he has none. Right. So I think all of Raptor's habits are formed from the south, and I don't think he's the guy that could survive the cold. So he should definitely migrate before going to the Arctic and not consider it. I don't even know where he's from. Where does it ever say where he's from?
No, all the named Cobras, they're all file name, unknown, location, birthplace. It's all unknown on the Cobras. They leave the air of mystery about all of our top tier Cobra guys. I think the only one you get a lot of info about is Major Blood and Copperhead. But
There we go.
Blood's like the only one you get his actual name. Oh, what if he what if he changed his name to Penguin and he wore a penguin suit?
It's different, but again, we're talking about a yuppie tax consultant too. Like this is not a guy I link with a whole lot of extreme survival, right?
Do you think he's got the skills to skin an emperor penguin?
I think he's taken everything he could to taxidermy his pet birds and make a glorious coat. Like he's
and
Cruella
you,
de Vil of birds.
and you said like he don't change, so he's gonna be
No,
this color. He's gonna stand out with that
he will
dark.
have. That's right. No protection
That
from his predators up there.
nope.
the, the
He is
the many polar bears.
definitely going to get eaten alive by Snake Eyes polar bear. Which
Mhm.
Matthew mentioned this earlier, and I didn't touch on it. Completely off topic, but since we're talking about polar bears, Four Horsemen just announced one tonight. They're going to do a polar
Oh,
bear. So
okay. I'll have
I
to
don't
check
know.
that out.
Yeah, check that out after the stream if you guys want. So your last
Mhm.
Cobra that's going to need some cold weather training, Crow, is this guy.
This He's gonna die. I don't care if you've seen him in the cold in the comics. I read the Destro series. Those are metal gloves and a metal faceplate and a bare chest. What happens to
His,
metal in the cold?
his head is gonna freeze to it.
Which is great because he could take the mask off if he could function his hands, which are also metal gloves.
He's gonna have to
This
keep
is the point I'm making. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna have to keep like a torch, like a camp torch with him to heat his hands up.
I'd just be spritzing him with water every 5 seconds, be like, it's getting worse. Because you remember in the, what is a Christmas story when the kid's tongue sticks to the pole?
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
flick, yeah.
So
Hey, don't leave me,
they that's
guys. Don't leave me.
Destro's just a man, right? At some point a man's got to go to the bathroom. Metal gloves in the snow. It's not going to work out for him. It's going to be worse than a tongue in a hole.
That's what we talked about earlier. Pop Blender and I talking about the cartoons. When do these guys go to the bathroom? He's not even going to be able to get it out with those metal gloves.
Yep. He's going to be constantly telling people to sit on his hands. Somebody sit on these. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be like, fuck off, Destro.
Saw Viper, fire that weapon a few times so I can put my hands on the barrel.
Spoon with me, Raptor. Spoon with me.
Oh, they're definitely gonna eat Raptor like in like Donner Party. Raptor's going first.
Yeah, none of these guys. Yeah, they all just need retraining.
Yeah, and Chaz says he needs some hand warmers in the gloves. I mean, he could probably engineer that.
Yeah. What is it? Snow Job's problem. He's got 6 inches of kit for a 4-inch stick. Right.
That's right. So how's he whacking it with those gloves? Damage 1,000. Like, guys, I can barely get it out with my hands. Shit. Oh my god.
This is what happens when you watch Toy Tubers after midnight.
Yeah.
Shit goes south.
Yeah, it definitely goes south. So there's crows. Cobras, so we'll get to my Cobras here, and talk about these guys real quick, kind of wrap up so everybody can go to bed. So of course this guy had to be in there. Somebody mentioned him.
Oh God, you don't think he'd make it?
No, I think he would try. I think he'd try to keep himself warm with like running in place and like trying to lift the Arctic hiss bench press, deadlift or something. But I know ultimately I think he's going to wind up cuddled up with Raptor, and they're just freeze that all that muscle. Like muscle don't keep you warm. Fat keeps you warm. So I'd be all right, but the big boa, he could beat me in a fight, but my fat ass is gonna be alive in the tundra. I can tell you that much. And you can't eat him either because he's like all muscle. So big boa is definitely not gonna make it.
Well, unless we retrain them, which is the point. They need the extra training.
That's right. And the first thing they're going to tell these guys is put some more damn clothes on.
Yeah. Get over yourself.
except for Blowtorch and Saw Viper. They're going to sweat, and their sweat's going to freeze. All right. So we got Big Boa. Next one is Storm Shadow. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Like Storm Shadow, he's a ninja. He can prep his mind. He can put his mind somewhere where he's warm, maybe on that beach where the Baroness shot him to death. He's ninja. He's trained. He's also wearing some fucking pajamas and some boots that are basically socks with little soles. They're like them hospital socks that you get when you go in a hospital. So he can be badass as he wants, but he can't cut through freezing to death. I don't care. He can't. He's an assassin and military intelligence, but he cannot outsmart or kill the cold in pajamas. I'm sorry. He ain't gonna make it. He's not gonna make it. And then
I
My
just heard
last
Matt
one.
punch. I just heard Matt punch the screen. I just heard it.
Yeah, probably. Probably gonna make sure he's got his swords on the right side too.
Yep. Mhm.
So my last Cobra that's definitely not gonna survive
No.
is Frostbite, or not? Is not Frostbite. Is Copperhead. He's gonna get Frostbite. I was looking at Stanley's comment. Stanley said Frostbite fingers. I was looking at that. So Copperhead, he's from the south. Um, he operates airboats, and he also wears little to no clothes on his torso and a helmet with no visor or anything. Why am I just realizing that he's one of my favorite characters? He drives a swamp boat and wears a helmet with a breather on it, but he has no visor. So his
No.
eyes are going to freeze to death too. But he's from Florida, down around the Glades, a little further down than Blowtorch. So this dude just he ain't gonna make it in cold weather. Much as I love him, he's gonna freeze to death down
Yeah,
there.
motherfucker will
And
die.
Chaz says he had a full ninja suit when I was a kid. That shit ain't keeping you warm. See, he knows. Chaz knows.
No, it's not even suitable as pajamas, man.
So those are guys that are going to need some cold weather training. Lone Dragon is in the house, and Allison Troy, Retro Toy Princess, is in the house. What's up, y'all?
Hi, Allison.
So that's a question that I'm interested in myself. Lone Dragon, we don't know because none of us have fucking rattlers. Is the landing gear a little wonky for anyone else? That was the canopy and the landing gear are my two main concerns with this thing. Both canopies, because it has two canopies.
I will bring up a QC issue I saw shared on the interwebs of somebody
Okay.
who had a hole in the wing which ejected a spring, which was not supposed to leave the wing. A small spring came out of one of the holes in the wing slots. So moving parts, having retention springs and things like that, I would just slow and smooth as fast the first time you open it and you start making sure everything moves. Who knows? I don't know. Wonky
Was this
landing gear.
where it folded up? Do you remember like where on
I
the
couldn't tell from the
okay.
picture. I think it was the underside of the wing near where it folded, yes, but I
Okay.
couldn't tell you exactly what part of the wing it was. I just saw it and was like, that's unfortunate.
Oh
You know,
yeah. So all right, well, so watch out for that, folks.
mhm.
When you get your rattlers, be careful for
To be
wing
clear,
springs.
I haven't heard a whole lot of complaints, so I really haven't. Like, I was expecting canopy to come up
Yeah,
because there's like
yeah.
two specific big canopies on this, the gunners and the crew. Thought for sure that would come up. Haven't seen it yet. So time will tell.
Yeah,
Could be.
that's that was, I mean, with the dragonfly with mine breaking, that's my
Mhm.
main concern with it. So we'll see. Pot blender will that's your mission this weekend is make sure no springs fall out of your rattler wings. And if it
Yeah.
does, that's what we're going to title the stream next week. Rattler wing springs. Lone Dragon says only problem I see is there's a tiny gap when it's closed. I can live with that. And Johnny says his is still in the box. Your new one, your HasLab or your original, because you've got all the original stuff in the box. So,
What
all right,
fun!
we need to wrap it up and get on up out of here. I do want to show. Has anybody done this with these guys? So, Crow gave me
Yeah,
that
we were
idea to
talking about
try
that.
that. That's the Frag Viper head on Saw Viper. If you want to
Mhm.
turn him into a Timu version of Overkill, looks really good on there.
Yeah, I like the look of that. Glad it worked out.
And conversely, here's Saw Viper on Frag Viper, which doesn't look too bad either. So I opened my extra of both of these guys just so if I want to keep them like that, I can keep them like that. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, both. All right. We need to wrap it up and get on out of here. We got 31 people watching, guys. Hit that like if you hadn't so far. 32. So I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys hanging in for our silliness and our possibly controversial thoughts on the Snow Cat, the
Hmm.
Arctic Adventure Team Arctic camp set with vehicle. Um, Lone Dragon's got some
Which,
patches for sale. I give you Tree Fitty. Do
yeah.
the
I,
Hey, Lone
Go ahead.
Dragon, do the patches have Velcro? I haven't watched any reviews to know if they have Velcro or not. I don't think they do, but I hope they do. You've got it open, or do you have it open? Because if they have Velcro, I can use it because I can put it on a hat and get a hat and put it on there or put it on my tack vest. But if it's just like you got to iron them on or sew them on, the hell with that. So, what was you saying, Crow? Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, I don't recall. I got kind of caught up in the idea of what levels of patches we're looking at right now. So it's like, yeah, it
Mhm.
would kind of suck if they didn't include the Velcro back. Uh,
That's been one of my questions the whole time, and they never touched on it. And I haven't watched any reviews on it that are out. I know Spec put out a good one. He had the first one out, I think, but I haven't watched it because I want to kind of be surprised when I open mine. I haven't watched any reviews lately except for Shark Eyes Fire Legacy Firefighter, uh, which
mhm.
I should have sometime next week. Um,
Yeah.
all right, Lone Dragon's looking. So, Crow, what do you got coming up on the channel? On the Crusty Old Crow channel, what are you doing coming up? And what's up, War Chest?
Oh, hey, War Chest. Right on, line's dead. I know, man. We're in mourning right now. I'm gonna talk about the pallbearers for the line coming up. So I will have some reviews coming up. I don't know when I'm gonna get to Frag Viper or Blowtorch or Heavy Duty. I'm at the mercy of my pre-orders, but on my channel, you are going to see me reviewing a Phalanx from Gridiron. You are going to see, just like you did with your Airhawk, I'm going to do the Tiger Force Airhawk and the Ramen van. And I don't know when any of those things are coming, but I know that the latter two, the van and the Airhawk, should be within the next week or two, or a couple weeks, anyways. And any side left or right of that, but. I'm going to be focusing more on some of the larger vehicles of late because we've got a few of them because the Ramen tank will show up eventually after that. And figure wise, I think I've got to slow down a little bit on Marvel Legends and go back to being a little bit more pickier because we got a lot of pre orders coming and they are on their way and it's going to start stacking up. So controlling spend time. No Velcro,
Yeah,
eh?
no
Wow.
Velcro. Damn.
Wow. That is. That is bonus from Wish. Like just that's giant tiger cheap, man.
That's disappointing. I thought that was the case when I watched the unboxing video, and he didn't really go in a lot of detail, but I just saw the back of them. I'm like, those don't look like they've got Velcro. Because do people still iron on patches? I mean, you have them sewn on, or you have Velcro to stick them on something. Do people still iron patches on? Is that still a thing?
I
I don't
wouldn't
know.
even accept it. I wouldn't accept it if the answer was even weakly yes. Like the people at Hasbro that advise them on modernizing this line have introduced them to so much military kit. They damn well know how the Velcro patching system works on all stuff. Nobody does iron on anymore. It's Velcro, hats with little rectangles, bags with
Yeah.
rectangles, shoulder flashes, rectangles, and you stick the Velcro on. They know this. They knew better.
See, that's what I was hoping for because I have some other Velcro back patches. I have Wraith Mace's patch. Um,
Yeah, exactly
you know,
like that. Yeah.
I was gonna buy a hat that I could actually wear the patches and get some kind of use of them because I'm not gonna display them. So that's what I
I,
was
I'm gonna
hoping for.
I'm gonna tell you right now that Wraith Mace is one case, but I'm gonna go from toy company to toy company. Look at what Delta 17 did right compared to HasLab. They put Velcro on their fucking patches when they gave it to a customer. Delta 17,
Yeah.
you're amazing. You're amazing.
That's right.
Thank you for thinking of such small things.
They think of all the small things. I can't wait for you to get that the Joe Fest exclusive and get your opinion on that.
Yeah.
That thing's badass.
Yeah, I'll have fun with that. Yeah, that's coming.
And then Jetman
What do
says
you got
beat
coming
it,
up?
Law and Order. Yep. So he did a snake
yeah.
armor today. B's got the snake armor. He put that up
Damn
today.
you,
I
B.
hadn't watched it. Yeah, B's got friends in Europe.
Clearly, that's all right.
I've got like I said, I got Footloose coming. I've got the Firefighter coming. I got Heavy Duty coming. So sometime in the next week, I'll probably be trying to get those out, depending on when they get here. I think other than whatever Hasbro's gonna send us, I think that's all I've got coming right now, just depending on how they ship. Got the reviews up on these other guys, so check them out. That's all I've really got planned on filming, getting out for reviews that I know's on the way. And I got, of course, Seven's Wild back here with Pop Blender next Wednesday. I'm sure we'll probably give our thoughts together a little bit on the Snow Cat, because we actually haven't talked a whole lot about it, and whatever else is coming down the pike. G.I. Jetman says Heavy Duty's awesome. That's what I've heard. He looks great. It's just not a character I care about, but the figure looks great.
So I'm going to talk about it. What makes me laugh is he's been like, I worry about who's been wearing heavy duty's kit before Heavy Duty, because if you look at that chest plate, all those scratches, those are bullet marks. And I just picture he's just picked up some dead guy's kit all the time. Like, people keep dying when they wear this rig because all the damage is right here.
He's a bullet sponge. I gotta look at it now. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Why not?
Yeah. Clearly, he's taking center and mass shots left and right. Come on. He is not the first owner of this.
He is not. No. Oh no. No. All right. So that's what we got coming up on the channel. Want to say what's up to Sharlock coming in and catching the end. So what's going on, Sharlock, man?
Hi, Sharlock.
Good hanging out with you again, seeing you again a couple weeks ago. So that's what we got happening around here on Backyard Battlefield. That's all we got. Crow, you got any closing thoughts, anything for tonight?
I don't know. If you're on the fence about the HasLab, don't let anybody give you a flack as to why. If somebody says that you're a broke-ass just because you don't like this vehicle, fucking take that with the grain of salt it deserves, and just enjoy your toys, guys. Have a great day.
Yep, and same here. Get it if you want it. If you don't, I don't think the tiers are going to make that much difference. Like we said earlier, you're buying it for the vehicle and the driver. In my opinion, the tiers are just extras. So I said what I said. I still like it. I think it's a good offering, and I'm gonna back it. I haven't yet. I need to. I just hadn't done it yet, but I plan.
Well, you'll run out of time by.
I want the Rattler first. I want my Rattler before I back it.
I can understand that.
And if mine's not here before it ends, I'm going to back it anyway, but I just want the Rattler. I just want to say that I got one before I ordered another one. Just this one time.
Not a damn thing wrong with that.
No. Yep. Sharlock said, I am a broke ass and I don't like it. So, okay. That's all we got for you guys. Thank you guys for sticking around, listening to us. 32 watching still. Hit that like button. We will see you guys in 2 weeks here on the battlefield, and enjoy your toys.